Good evening, everyone. Sorry it took so long, but for some reason Google Hangout would not let me in. Hope everybody's having a good time. Hope everybody's having a good time. And here we go. Tonight we're going to talk about everything Bigfoot, dogman, you name it. We're going to try to talk about it. And we're going to talk about a special guest me and DW's been kicking around. See what y'all's thoughts and are going to be about it. Hold on one second. I think DW is trying to get in. Let's see here. Let me hold on one second, folks, and let me see if I can get him in. All right, folks, I just got off the phone with DW. He's going to try to jump in when he can. And I haven't been able to go back out to Property X in a couple of days. You know, Christmas time, all that good stuff. I'm going to try to get out there probably day after Christmas. And I'm going to try to get a couple of recordings put up. That way people have something to listen to Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. You know, if they haven't got nothing else better to do, why not let me aggravate them? Like I said, had some pretty good reports here lately about Bigfoot. Fish and Game is talking to several other Fish and Game officers about things that have been going bump in the night and not just oddities. He's working on that, getting some stuff to us. That'll be interesting, I'm sure. Had a couple of other interesting things. A couple of people had sent me messages about odd encounters and stuff. If y'all have those, shoot those to me in an email. Leave me a contact number if you don't mind, and I'll see if I can get a hold of you. And like I said, me and DW have been kicking around this certain person. Some people may know who they are, and some may not. And some listeners may already know who he is. But No Fish and Game doesn't have a channel. He's got some stuff he's putting together for me and DW. I had a guy send me some stuff through a message, and I wrote back to him and told him to email me, and he hasn't got back to me. So, you know, I don't know what's going on there. I have been getting some other crazy reports out of Missouri. One lady sent me a email and an audio. The audio did not come through. It said it was corrupted or something. But I'm curious to talk to her because she said that she had a couple of Bigfoot clans fighting on her property. So, you know, that's going to be interesting. And folks, we hit over 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and thank y'all. Never figured this would be as big as it's done got to. And that's one of the reasons why I've been talking to this certain person. And if you go to the last live stream we had, you'll get to see that person's name that's commented on mine, and he's both commenting on DW's channel, and I think his last video he done, or maybe in his comments. I'm not sure. I gotta ask him about that. This person you may know as Jay Tucker. I'm trying to get some feelers out to see what y'all think about bringing him on here. What are y'all's ideas? Some people, like I said, may have heard of him. Some people may have not. He got kind of a raw deal when he first came out, and he kind of went silent. So y'all leave me a couple of notes in y'all's discussion in the chat room, and I don't know. And yeah, I'm sorry for the silence while I'm trying to read this stuff over here. I'm trying to keep up with Google Chats, and I'm trying to keep up with the chat room all at the same time. It's pretty challenging. Mr. X Dreams. I haven't got to talk to him in a while. I think he's been busy with some of his stuff. I don't think he really likes go talk, doing the live talks. I'm not sure. But yes, I'd love to get X Dreams on here. Damn, this thing is filling up fast, y'all. Thanks for everyone coming on. And I said, I'm sorry it's on so late, but for some reason, every time I tried to start the show, it would tell me that Google Hangouts was down for maintenance. So I just kept trying until I got on there because I wanted to give y'all a show. I was going to try to do it last night, and things didn't work out where I could because of the time of the year and stuff it is. And like I said, I apologize. But Dogman, me and DW2 have been talking to a lot of people up north, that in the northern areas, I'll say, that on the Appalachian Trail that have had an upload of sightings. Well, I tried that, and it's kind of distracting because I'll get to talking about something and a whole bunch of stuff will get started. Thank you, Lisa. I don't know if Dart's going to have a show up this weekend or not because it's holiday weekend. I think he's on the road now, and like I said, I've been trying to get a hold of him to see. I sent him a link. If you want, I can paste a link in the chat room if y'all want to join. If you want to come in, as long as you don't act crazy, we can do it. And we'll talk about what y'all want to talk about. Links in there, and the way you use that is you open up a new browser. You click on the link. I think you can, yeah. Actually, you can click on it and say open in a window and open it, and it should bring you right in. You were warned. What do you mean you were warned? What are you talking about? Don't understand what that person is talking about, but okay. Okay. Mm, well, something about the truth. I have no idea, Dakota, what they're talking about. Well, they got put out. So I gave them plenty of time to ask about what they were talking about. Like I said, I'll paste a comment. I'll paste the link again. Uh, what I believe and what I've had an experience with that is the upturned trees is a Sasquatch. Yes, they're markers. Now, I don't have one to talk to find out exactly what the markers are, but I know if you find some and you go into that area, they will push you out. You know, they don't like it when you go in that area. I don't know why. I don't know what it means. Uh, I don't know what you're talking about, Don. Uh, so, does anyone want to come in and talk, or I said I'm trying to get a hold of Dark. I know he's on the road right this minute. Uh, and see if we can get something going here. Hold on one second. I'm fixing to call him and see if he got the link. All right, I just got off the phone with Darkwater, and he's on the road, but he said he's fixing to pull over and see if he can't get it connected, and we're gonna go from there. All right. Yeah, Don. I don't know what you mean by everybody's on edge. Uh, is there something going on in your area, or I had a question. Were you part of the Bigfoot kill group, or do you have a Bigfoot channel? A Bigfoot thing on Facebook? Coda, it may just be the time of the year. This time of the year, for some reason, the nuts, even in, the humans come out. The rate of robberies go up, everything. And I don't understand it. It wasn't like that when I was a kid. And it seemed like the older I got, the worse it got. Like, hey, is that you? Uh, oh, what's going on? Okay, Don. I didn't know. I come across somebody asked me that because they come across something on Facebook or something of a group, and they wanted me to ask you. It doesn't matter if you got one story or not. You can come on. We can talk. I'd like to get other people's opinions and their ideas. Like I said, I haven't got anything new from Project X, Property X. Like I said, I haven't had time to go. I've went out there once. Okay, Don. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to go out there. Everything going on this past week, but I am going to try to get out there. Like I said, right after the Christmas holidays, and I'll be posting some more video, letting y'all know what's going on. And like I said, yeah, there's been a couple of other things that people reported on. Like I said, I've got in touch with a couple of people up in the Missouri about they've been having some strange dogman sightings. They say it's amped up. Basically, is what we're coming up with. Is there more reports? And first thing we do is we make sure, all right, you're not seeing it Bigfoot. And these people say no, this thing is canine. It's howling. It's doing it sounds like a giant coyote. Uh, they're getting yips and stuff. And I have occasionally heard a couple of Bigfoot do those yips and stuff. And I don't know if it's trying to excite the pack of coyotes so they can hunt them or what they're doing. Like I said, and I don't want to wear Property X out. If you go in there and keep going in there and keep going in there, you're going to do one or two things. You're either going to make them leave or they're going to get aggressive. And like I said, for us to study and come up with more stuff, I don't want to piss them off, and I damn sure don't want them to move off. So, like I said, I'm kind of slowly invading their area, as you might say, getting them used to me coming in. And like I said, a lot of people say, well, you need to leave them food. You need to let them offerings. No, 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 you don't. You don't want to do that. That's the worst thing you can do. Because like I said, these things can and will figure out where you're coming in, what times you're coming in, and they have been known to follow people 10, 15 miles all the way back to their house. Yeah, I've been wondering about that because it seems like when we started hearing about that, there was a front coming in up north, and I don't know if that's what pushed them down the dogman down the Appalachian Trail or what, but and I don't understand why they're just people are just popping up seeing them on the Appalachian Trail. My thoughts and DW's thoughts are because there's so many cave systems and it's such a vast area. How much you can hike for 2 or 3 days and not see nobody on some of the more aggressive trails. And it may be because of the cold climate. They may be heading down south towards Florida. Uh, I don't know. Can everybody still hear me? I got somebody thinking I'm still on the phone. Okay, that's strange. Maybe there was something the dog didn't like in the area. I've never had that. Yeah, there have been sightings during the winter in Canada. Uh, I don't, I don't know if that was a mistaken Bigfoot or whatever, but there have been supposed sightings of dogman in the wintertime. There's been sightings of him in a blazing hot sun. In the summertime, no one knows enough about those creatures to do anything. Keep a check on that, Dakota, because you never know what it could be. We'll be here. Don't worry. When I said your dog's acting up like that, have you ever had a problem before with coyotes or wolves messing with your dogs? Like I said, it doesn't make a difference if you've got one story, 10 stories, or you just want to talk. Like I said, I'm always interested in hearing someone else's opinion about certain things and may learn something new. Uh, have you thought about putting a game camera up? Just not right on the pen, but back off where something that would be coming around the pen would, trigger it. It could be a mountain lion. I don't know where you are. I don't know, if you have them in your area, but they've been finding mountain lions in several states where before they weren't there. So, it's a possibility of, that, or it could be a juvenile Bigfoot. Uh, it could be a dogman.
Hello,
Hello, who am I speaking with?
Don.
How you doing, Don?
All right, how you doing?
All right. So you've been having a problem with stuff around your dog? No, that's not you.
Well, yeah. Actually, I got a 14-year-old daughter, and she's been having some stuff going on, bugging her. It'll happen at her mom's house, and then when she comes to my house, we got a week on, week off thing going on, and she'll come to my house, and it'll bug her there too.
How far apart are y'all living?
We only live about a mile or two apart.
Okay. Well, if it's a Bigfoot, that's nothing. I'm talking about that's like your living room size to them. Dog man, pretty much the same thing. Is it? What is it doing? Is it bumping the
No,
house?
it's not dogman or Bigfoot. This is some supernatural stuff going on.
Okay. What
Like,
is it? What exactly is it doing?
well, she's complained that it's grabbed her, and then she'll see shadows or whatnot. You know, kind of like shadow people,
Okay. All
and
right.
then
All right.
stuff will move around in her room.
All right. Off of that, I got a few questions. And this, don't take no offense to this. It's just the way when we start talking about the paranormal, especially with it bothering people, these are just basic questions I ask to try to get to what's going on. Has she or any of her friends in either location played with a Ouija board?
I think she did say she done some of that stuff.
Okay. Well, if she didn't properly close that, when you open that up, basically think about you're turning a light on in the middle of the summertime, in the middle of the dark, and every insect in that area is going to be drawn to that light, right?
Yeah.
All right. If you don't close that, which cut that light off, and all the insects will eventually go about their business back like they were doing, and you're not even there no more. If you don't close that Ouija board, it's constantly open. It's an open doorway, and things can go in and things can go out, and a lot of times it ain't good.
Yeah, I've also heard some about teenage girls will create their own what is it, poltergeist or whatever.
Yeah, but that's not just teenage girls, boys, girls. That's not a boy or girl thing. It's not a sex thing. That's just because they're young and they're actually still accessing parts of their brain and stuff like that that most adults kind of don't fool with. That's like, yeah, it's like, baby, you don't remember nothing from when you were 3 years and younger, usually, because all those things kind of block off. That's why most of the paranormal world believe children 3 and younger can connect and see stuff that most of us can't because that veil has not been put over their eyes yet. You still there, Don? I think I lost you. Yep. Somehow I lost him. If you can come back in, man, come on back in. But what I would do is find that Ouija board that they used. If you can, have everybody that was involved come back and y'all do a closing on that Ouija board.
Somebody done got out there and played with a Ouija board, man?
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, what's going on?
Not much, man. I finally figured out how to get in this damn thing.
Well, Don said that his daughter, at first I thought he was talking about she was having cryptid problems, that something at his wife's house is bothering her, and then something at his house is bothering her, and they don't live but about a mile and a half apart. And I thought at first he was talking about a cryptid, and then he's like, no, it's paranormal. And the first thing I asked him was, did her or anybody else play with a Ouija board at either of those locations? And he said, yeah, he does believe so. And like I told him, if they didn't close that, basically they got a giant open doorway into the paranormal in their house.
Oh, yeah, you got a paranormal highway in your house.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if wherever she goes, something can attach to her and it stay there.
Yeah,
are you there? I got disconnected.
Hey, man, yeah, we're still here, and Darkwater's in here with us too.
What's up, Don?
What I would suggest you do, like I said, is if you can find that Ouija board or spirit board or whatever they were using, find that. If you can, get everyone that was there when they did it back together, and you do an official closing. You close and cleanse that board or whatever they were using. Start there. That closes that doorway. Then you have to deal with whatever has come over or whatever is there. And it sounds like something has attached to her. And usually when things attach, they're not on the good side.
Yeah, nothing bad has happened yet. Just the small stuff. She'd get touched, or some stuff gets moved around, or she'll see the shadow people.
That's the way it starts, because what it's doing is it's trying to get you to notice it with it, because that's how it draws power. It has to have you to interact with it to gain power, and it starts out small with stuff like that, and then amps up to either telling her to do bad things to herself or others. What I would do is, I don't know what religion you are. Didn't really Southern. Well, I would go to your local. Do y'all have a local priest or preacher?
Yeah, Southern Baptist, so preacher.
Okay, well, I would take your daughter to your preacher. I'd even invite your preacher into your house and ask him to do a spiritual cleansing of both properties. It wouldn't hurt either to find you some white sage and burn that and walk around the outside of the property and walk around the inside of your house and take back your space. What I mean by that is, you tell anything that is not there, that it does not have good intentions towards you or your family, it has to leave.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, like I said, you bring that priest in, and he will command that in whatever religion you're in, to whatever God, deity, or therefore whatever it is, to leave on his command, and it has to. That's taking back your space.
All right. Yeah. And then the other thing is with Bigfoot. I'm up here in Northern California, Humboldt County.
Yes, sir. I know where it's at.
Yeah. So I go down to the res, and we get mushrooms and whatnot up in the mountains, and we hear the knocking and them talking.
Yeah, the what a lot of people call the samurai chatter.
Yeah, we don't hear the hooping and holler and stuff you see on TV. We hear the chattering.
That's usually during either, like I said, the knocking. I've seen them use that for hunting. The chatter is more like when they're like together, and they're not having to holler from one ridge top to another ridge top, and they're more local. And they may be watching y'all gather what they think is their mushrooms, and they're getting teed off about it.
I think that's what it was. I was telling my cousin, because this is all tribal land, and it's only tribal members get to pick up there. And I told him, well, he said he's seen a lot of stuff, but I haven't seen anything. I've seen something big moving around, but I just put it off as, well, that's probably a bear or something, because there's a lot of bear up here.
Yeah.
And I think because we're picking their mushrooms.
Yeah, that it may be they're not used to seeing a pale-faced person, because they're used to seeing Indians, and it's something new and exciting to them.
Yeah.
No one is an expert on none of all this is speculation and stuff like that. Like I said, now I've had several things that reoccurred over and over, and I figured out, hey, that's why they're doing that. But you go into another area and try it, and you don't get any reaction. And it's like, okay, well, it's like every group of people, they react to different things.
And there's a lot of tree breaks, and do you know pretty much what the different tree breaks mean?
Well, I've got a general idea. Now, what they really mean, like I said, I don't have one to communicate with, so I couldn't tell you for definite. This means that. This means that. But usually when they reach up and break one over, and the tops will be pointed, that's an indication marker of which way that particular animal was going. He may be the scout, is what I believe, and what I think is going on, that a scout has come through there and left a trail marker for the rest of them to follow. Hey, I went this way.
What about boundary markers? Like there's some trees out there that's one tree will be in the ground pushed over, and then another tree to make an X would be a totally different tree, and it'll be from 30, 40 feet away.
Those, that's a boundary indicator, I believe. The other one is when you find them pulled up by the roots and stuck back in the ground. That's definitely an indicator. Like I said, if you find an area like that, you keep going up in there, they're going to try to push you out. And if you don't go willingly, they will escort you out of there one way or the other, or you'll be permanently part of that place.
Yeah. What about a tree that's been pulled up and the root ball's still attached, but it's stuck up upside down?
That's what I'm talking about. When you see those, when you see those that's been pulled up by the roots and then turned upside down and stuck back in the ground, that's a good indication that there's an alpha male, and for some reason they do not. That's their place. They have laid claim to it. And say, I'm dealing. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
That's what I'm dealing with at Property X. There's several of those out there. I have not ventured into that area because, like I said, I'm dealing with what's going on the outside, because I don't want to get in over my head. I don't want to cause a confrontation where they hurt me or I have to hurt one of them.
Yeah. Well, and that tree that's still has the root ball stuck in the ground, it's not just stuck in the ground a little bit.
Oh,
it's in there. It's deep.
Yeah. I've dug one up before. It was almost 2 foot in the ground. It was about 10 inches around.
And it's rocky ground too.
Well, I've run into that, and like I said, you think of how much force it takes to do that.
And my cousin, he always leaves them salmon, because salmon is a big part of the tribe. Salmon is just huge in the tribe. It's what they're. And he always leaves them salmon. He says they leave him alone when he leaves them salmon.
Well, think about it.
We go up there one of these times and you don't bring salmon, what are they going to do to us?
Exactly. You think of it this way. I want to put my thought out there on this. Like you just said, if someone walked into your house and handed you a sandwich and walked out, they did that 400 times during the month. Well, they walk in there this one time, walk right past you, and don't give you a sandwich, and go to your bathroom. Are you not going to get up to go to confront them and figure out, hey, where's my sandwich and what are you doing in my bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay, that's basically think of it the same way. You know, bears. Since you have bear up there, you know, if you constantly put out bait on this one stump, that there's going to be there's a bunch of bears going to come there, but there's always one big time bear that's going to come back to that spot looking for his treat. And he's going to sit there and he's going to watch to see who's doing it, who's leaving it. And if you don't bring it, he's going to follow you. There's been several occurrences. I was telling DW one time about being up north, hunting. We were bear hunting. We were on the Alaskan border, and we got warned by our guide, hey, don't be surprised if when we shoot one of these elks or one of these bear, that another bear will come in and try to take your game. And we're like, what? He said, yeah. He said, you'll see them all out there way away from you. They keep their distance. And as soon as they hear a gunshot, they come in because it's free. It's a free meal.
Yeah. Oh, another thing that's happened to me lately, I don't know if it's a skin changer, because they have those in the tribe. It was about dark, probably about 8 o'clock. It gets dark about 5:30, 6 o'clock here. And it was about 8 o'clock. I was on my phone, just talking on my phone, walking up and down the road. And we got about 2.5 acres that's wooded, right on the outskirts of town. And a buck, and not very big buck, because the coastal deer out here ain't very big, come walking up the road. It's a dirt road. And it walked right by me. It was probably about 4 feet away from me. I scuffed my feet to try to scare it away. It just turned its head, looked at me, just kept on walking. And it got probably about, 100 yards away from me or more. And it stood up on its hind legs. There's no trees or nothing around where it stood up, because I know they'll get on their back legs to reach something to eat. And it reared up on its hind legs, turned and looked at me, So I hauled butt back in the house. But it had no fear at all of me or nothing.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's a bear. Think of a Sasquatch.
Huh?
Think of that's just a bear. Think of a Sasquatch doing that.
No, this was a deer doing this, a buck.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You phased out on me. I couldn't hear you right there during that part.
Yeah, I'm probably going to lose signal here in a little bit, but yeah, that was a buck that was just walking by me about 3 feet away or 4 feet away. I scuffed my feet to try to scare it. It just turned its head and looked at me, and then when it got pretty ways up the road, it reared up on its hind leg, just stood up, turned and looked at me. So I hauled butt back in the house. So I don't know what that was.
Hold on one second. I'm trying to take care of something in the chat room. Hey, Grim, what's going on in the chat? Somebody was acting stupid or something in the chat. All right. Is someone doing something they're not supposed to or saying something they're not supposed to in the chat? Because I don't have for some reason, I don't have any moderators. I don't know what's going on.
Lakea down there?
No, Lakea is not with us right this second. And for some reason, everything's acting crazy. I don't have any moderators. Because DW is on here and he should be a moderator.
Yeah.
Well, I'm driving, so I can't moderate while I'm driving.
I'm driving too.
Yeah.
If you want, I'll hop off and try and pull it up and see what I can do.
No, I got it. I think I figured out who it was and what was going on, and they just got blasted. So.
But yeah, I'm here. I just didn't want to cut off your conversation. Go ahead and finish telling your story, Don.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna watch the chat room real quick and.
Yeah, it was just about that buck. Just like I said, reared up on its hind legs and just turned and kind of, I wouldn't say glared at me, just looked at me. So yeah, I just back of my the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. So I just hauled butt back in the house. I don't know what it was. I know they got some skin changers in the tribe here. But yeah, my house is just right on the outskirts of town, so I don't know why it'd be right around there.
Don, you're in the military, right? Or you were in the military?
I just retired. I did 17 years. I got out like 2 years ago.
Was it a prevalent experience for guys in the military to have paranormal things? Did you guys ever talk about that stuff amongst each other a lot?
When we're out on patrol and stuff like that, to pass the time, we would tell each other everything that's going on, what we've seen, what we've heard other people seen, just to pass the time. But yeah, we see a lot of stuff that goes along.
What was the craziest thing you heard?
Craziest thing I've heard, probably.
Y'all
So
keep
much-
going. I'm trying to get a hold of Lakea to see if she can get in here or what's going on with her wrench.
All right. I had a soldier telling us a story about his rifle. He was sitting there, and he's half asleep. He had his rifle parked up right against him. Probably you know how you're sitting, got your legs up. And he had his rifle in between his legs and the barrel resting on his shoulder. And a blue orb, he was saying it's kind of bluish, whitish, with a little bit of red in there, came up. It didn't touch him, it touched his rifle, his weapon. And the magazine fell out.
Wow.
And then you just get the other stories about, I seen shadow people or see the dogman. Stuff like that. I haven't seen Dogman. I don't want to see Dogman either.
No, you don't want to see that, bro. Trust me.
No, I don't want nothing to do with him. That's why I was wondering if it's made its way out to California yet. I haven't heard anything
about Dogman in California, but nowhere near like the stuff that I'm getting from the South. in the southeast. I heard one or two out there, and it was kind of like it really wasn't a definite dog man. It was definitely a big dog, but it wasn't the. None of the stories described it standing upright and walking towards the person like
Yeah.
down here in the south. It was just, oh, I saw this giant dog, and it was bigger than any dog I'd ever seen. But I never had anything that was like, yeah, this is definitely a dog man.
Okay, I think he's still here. I figured Lakia changed her name. I don't know if that kicked out her wrench or what was going on, but for some reason, I don't know if it's because the Google Hangout was acting stupid earlier, like I told you, DW, or what, but she didn't have a wrench, and you, her, Cody are supposed to have wrenches, and I don't think Cody's in here, but she didn't have a wrench, and you should have had it been able to moderate, but they don't show you as a moderator. I don't know.
That's not good. That's not good at all.
Like I said, I don't know if it's because of like I said, I don't know. I think Lakia had to change her name because somebody kept stalking her.
Stalking her?
Yeah, so she's Gray Path. That's her. Lakia is Gray Path, but like I said, I think she had to change her name because she was being stalked by somebody off of here, or not off of my place, but off of YouTube.
Oh, that's insane.
Johnny said that name change will drop the wrench. Well, it had to have because it didn't show her.
Yeah, definitely should drop the wrench. Well, I ain't changed my name. I ain't changing my name either, baby. But no, that's an interesting story about the soldier. Some of the military guys I've talked to, well, not some, a lot of the military people I've talked to talked about the shadows in the different barracks around the world. The Philippines, there are a number of stories that I got from the Philippines about these giant shadows that would be in the barracks and seen around the barracks in the Philippines. And I don't know what those are, what they stem from, but the gentleman that I talked to in the Philippines always talked about that. He was like, man, you wouldn't believe the size of these shadows. And if I'm not mistaken, in the Philippines, that is where they have a lot of ghost activity. I want to say it's the Philippines where they have these temples where they see these giant ghosts. So that's about par for the course down there in the Philippines. And actually, Bo, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Actually, one of the guys, this is a New Orleans mafioso guy, but his father was, I think I did part of his story in Naga. That was a story about him and his girlfriend that went out on the boat and saw that ghost woman. But that guy's family was heavy Filipino mafia, and he's in New Orleans now. He and I are good friends, and he used to tell me other stories about stuff that he would see leaving out of the ballrooms in the Philippines late at night. Whether it be the shadows that he would see, and they say he would see these kind of shorter, not full, like I guess you could describe it, waist high shadows, but they were fast and they would dart behind like the buildings back and forth. So the Philippines is a very haunted place. He's a freaking creepy guy after all. I mean, he's a freaking creepy dude anyway. But I think you and I talked about him before.
Yeah.
But his family was, and it's amazing how in the Philippines, man, you know, that's the Wild Wild West. You know,
Oh yeah.
Military extorting people, killing people. You know, he came up rough, man. They came up real rough. Saw his uncle get murdered right in front of him at the racetrack, like crazy stuff. Just crazy stuff.
Well, DW, I kind of alluded earlier. I don't know if all these people, I don't think had joined yet, about our secret guest. We've been talking about.
Oh, what you told him about the guest?
Well, I just asked them. You know, we've been talking to a guy that basically, some people may know, some people may have already figured out who they are, but I was talking about Jay Tucker.
Yeah, I like Jay. Jay's a good guy, and everybody's been harassing us trying to figure out if you're Jay, and I'm trying to tell him, man. So I reached out to him. He's a good guy, and one of the things that I can put out there is that I actually, there was a lot of people who tried to discredit him and his background, and so I decided to make some phone calls and verify his background. And for those who don't know, there are people who do know how influential I can be. I talked to one of my friends who's a congressman and had him make some phone calls. And he came back and said, you don't need to be asking questions about this gentleman. So that let me know right there that, there's a lot of validity to his background, which I thought was very interesting. So hopefully we can have him on and he'll come on and talk. But the drama that he went through the last time was just completely and totally unnecessary, man.
Yeah, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, it's somebody that come out and tried to help, and when he did, he basically got shit on. Is the easiest way I can put it, and he just kind of left and went off.
Well, I mean, that's what I would have did. I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta understand. A lot of people talk about this shit about, how they look out for eyewitnesses and protect eyewitnesses and this and that, and that's all bullshit because at the end of the day, the man's name should have never been out there in the first place. Like, think about it. How many people's names have I ever put out? If you're interested in protecting a witness, then and looking out for their well-being, then you don't put that person's information out. You change names. You insist that they change their name and go with it from there, especially when you're talking about a topic such as dogman where, people get to be fanatical. So,
yeah.
But, one of the things about YouTube, YouTube is, and for people who don't know, YouTubers build cults of personality. It's a cult following for a personality. And I don't mean that in a negative way, like a Jim Jones cult where everybody got to drink the Kool-Aid. But what you have to understand is the person that is the leader of that group of people, which quote unquote you would call a cult leader, there's a certain responsibility that person has to have. The reason why I call the Dark Orders my family is because, and the reason why the Dark Orders family grows, and you see people like you vote getting 1,000 subscribers, and you see people like Extremes growing, phenomenally, is because everybody is kind of like the apples don't fall far from the tree. So if you have a personal philosophy of looking out for people, taking care of people, and being kind and really being generous and being protective, then you see that growth around you, and you see the people around you grow and become stronger, and then your content stays that way. But the problem is with these cults of personality, the problem boils down to people, they follow blindly, and they don't really investigate or understand who they're following. And at the same time, they read the tea leaves and watch what's happening and read the writing on the wall when it comes to these incidents that happen with the witnesses, because it's just one of those things. And in his case is a case of that. And there's a lot of other people who've been kind of ostracized and castigated forward. And it's the YouTuber's responsibility, especially in these genres, to do that. When you talk about Linda Godfrey and her books that she writes, and even one of her best stories, which was the Wolfpack Paranormal Witness, that was Linda went to war with those people because they changed their account. In a true account. So Linda went to war with those people saying, hey, what you're doing is wrong, and I don't like it because it made the people seem like liars and all the rest of this stuff. So it's all about the responsibility of that person who's the YouTube creator or the person who's sharing that information. You have to be responsible to the person who's sharing that story with you, because if you're not, nobody else will be, and that's the thing about that situation. And what's happening is, so now you got a guy who probably has more information and more knowledge about the topic than anybody out there who just won't share it,
Well, most people are wondering who we're talking about. Jay Tucker is one of the only people that DW, like he said, he knows of that has had not just an encounter with a dog man, that is actually went to basically war with one and survived.
Yeah. So, well, outside of that, in the Lockett family, but my thing is, at the end of the day, and I say this all the time, there's a difference between reality and entertainment. For the audience's sake, things should stay in the realm of entertainment. And for safety reasons, it should stay in the realm of entertainment. When you start getting beyond the realm of entertainment and getting into the reality of what happened, how it happened, where it happened, what's going on, it turns to get very dangerous. And he's a prime example of what happens when people allow that bridge to be crossed. And that's why I don't let that bridge be crossed. And people say, hey, Doc, why don't you tell us this? And why don't you? I get messages all the time. You need to put this information out there so the world can know. Hey, man, I'm putting out as much truth as possible to you.
Well,
for my benefit and for your benefit to make it safe. So, it's one of those things where there has to be a higher level of responsibility, man. It really does.
From what I understand, I'm
ahead.
sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
From what I understood and from what I took from him, that he talked to this person, went out, did what he did, and then came back and talked to this person again to let him know some information that would help people. He didn't want to take that part. He wanted only to worry about what exactly he done, and then blew some of that out of proportion to tell this story so people wouldn't get hurt. And then when it came down to it, the person that was doing this reporting kind of left him hanging in the wind.
Yeah. Well, all I'm gonna say is there's a certain level of responsibility that you have to have when it comes to dealing with this kind of stuff, man. For multiple reasons. And I've expressed those reasons over and over and over and over again, man. People are driving crazy out here in these streets, like 102, 105 miles an hour. This is insane. I expressed those reasons over and over and over again because of my experience with the Siege of Lockett Ranch story and how people vehemently tried to find and locate and track down this family. And had I not taken the precautions that I had taken, man, I'm talking about, it was bad enough that Taylor was swarming with people. It would have been way worse. I mean, it would have been 1,000 times worse. So I just think that, people there's a certain level of responsibility you have to have, man. You really, really do. You really, really do. And in a situation like Dogman, you definitely need to be responsible because somebody can get out there and get killed or get hurt. And ain't no coming back from death. It's not like a video game where you're going to get a second chance at it,
Nope. And from what I understand, that's what he got he was dead to rights. And because of things that he knew to put in place, is the only reason why, as he put it, he's still there or he's still here.
Well, we'll get him on. We'll get the conversation going. We'll definitely get it going. I didn't tell you, man. I started the final touches on the Highgate vampire stories, which those stories aren't my stories. Those stories aren't stories that were given to me by anyone. I just wanted to give the audience some stuff about vampires. And so one of the most popular vampire cases is the Highgate vampire case. And I started putting the final touches on the stories that were coming from the newspaper about the Highgate vampire, how they were investigating the cemetery, people getting arrested, and how it was this craze, this vampire craze. So I think that's going to be a great story when it comes out. I wanted to release Dogs of War tonight, but I didn't do it because I'm driving. So I'll try and release it tomorrow. And that's a two-part story, so I think people are going to enjoy that one.
Dude, you're doing pretty good driving and doing a live show at the same time, especially as crazy as these roads are right now. I'm in my vault, and I'm staying in my vault until after Mr. Santa Claus or St. Nick is driven by. He don't never stop here because I'm always bad. So,
man, do you know anything about the whole Krampus thing? With because I've seen movies on it. And I know we're getting into that time period. Was Krampus like the anti-Santa Claus? What was that? What's that supposed to be about? You know,
Krampus. I know a little. Lakea was explaining a little bit better. Now she knows, goes into detail about it and can, and I have to get her to come on here and do a show, hopefully maybe in the next day or so about Krampus. But supposedly, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm right, like it's who the Krampus came after the bad kids.
Oh, so
If
Krampus was
you,
a dude who he was like he had the
yeah,
naughty list.
yeah, he had if you got put on the naughty list, you had to worry about Krampus back in the old days, apparently. Instead of you being worried about leaving coal in your stocking, you better hope you're still in your bed.
So him and Santa Claus supposed to have beef then over the kids, or he just rolled out and did what he had to do.
Well, I think it came out of just all the hate and evil and all the bad, because think about it. Like I said, kids, they possess powers of that most people don't think about because, like I said, they haven't been taught yet not to use their whole brain, or that veil's been put over their eyes. So think about it's kind of like the Slender Man. If enough people, or in this case, kids, think about this certain entity, it can be brought into existence.
So that would make sense why it's not popular now because don't nobody know about that crap. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, and I'm wondering, since all these movies and stuff are coming out, what's going to happen. Yeah,
Well, I don't know.
there's different versions, just like there's different versions of Santa Claus. That's where he got all his different names from, is because in one place he'd be called Saint Nick, one place he'd be called Claus, one place he'd be called Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas. Uh, it depends on where you are, is what they call Krampus. And
No, that's
supposedly instead of carrying a bag full of toys, he had a basket, I think it was, that he carried on his back where he put all the bad kids.
oh wow. So he was a kidnapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krampus was a kidnapper.
All I can say is Krampus needs to stay the hell away from here. I'll sick my minions on him.
Yeah, that's not cool, man. Running around snatching people's children. Children get opportunity to be better. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
no, it's amazing that and like, oh, I gotta tell you this shit. So I've been and this is sorry guys, I didn't mean to say it like that, but I started watching I started watching some of the YouTubers. Do you know now all of a sudden people are doing live streams where they got they're playing their stories in the live streams like you
Yeah.
started off. I was
I,
like, look at this.
I seen that. Instead of them doing a story like they were doing, all of a sudden now they're doing a live stream and then asking people to come in and comment and talk about the story that is read. And 99% of them are all coming off Reddit.
Uh-huh. And I ain't talking about X Dreams because X Dreams been doing it for a while, but it's other people. I was just like, wow. So
Yeah.
it's like, the same people who was like, oh, Dark Waters, we hate you. You're not a part of our community. You suck. Oh, now you're taking ideas. So I just think it's funny, man. It's funny that people would do that, but hey, more power to you, man. More power to you. You're gonna have to, if that's the case, then you're gonna have to keep on evolving, which is good. That just lets you know you're a forerunner. If people are kind of lagging behind what you're doing and doing it, so but I just thought that was funny because I saw it and I was like, wow, okay, so now here's the new thing, And the guy who did it just so happened to be one of the guys who, when that whole thing when King Spook went down, me and him went at it because, is my battery getting drained? Really? Wow, this thing drains your battery fast, dude. That's crazy. It was one of those guys who, when me and Spook it was one of the people who had some shit to say when me and Spook had our issue and jumped in, which had nothing to do with him. And then Spook and I squashed it, and he wasn't satisfied with the way I did what I did. So I was like, man, I don't have to, I don't have to do shit the way you want me to do it. I'm going to do it how I want to do it. So now all of a sudden he's doing it. So, I mean, and that's just like the Dogman topic. From a narration standpoint, nobody was doing Dogman at all. I mean, no one. I mean, not a person. They didn't even call it Dogman. They called it, the stuff they was doing was kind of werewolves. But now all of a sudden it's all this Dogman stuff. So it's definitely interesting how people have jumped on a bandwagon and taken stuff and ran with it. And the most amazing thing to me is it's all 100% made up shit that they're doing.
Yep.
Because they're not talking to anyone, and they're not they're not taking any risk. They're just writing the story and
Well,
putting the story out. So it's not like they're communicating with anyone and getting an actual story. It's just, oh, Dogman versus Rake, or I saw 5 Dogman, or this, 5 Dogman stories. Or now I know that Extremes definitely talks to people, because I know for a fact he gets people to email him and he'll go back and forth with them. But outside of that, it's just making shit up. And there's really not a whole much Dogman stuff on Reddit. I looked just to see what was out there, to see if any of the other hosts who were doing interviews were actually taking stuff off Reddit and using it as a story, or if any of their guests were taking stories off Reddit, but I didn't see it. So I
that's
just find it interesting.
that's a site that I have still not yet to go on, because, like I said, from what I understand, what everybody tells me, 99% of the stuff on there is fake. So I don't have time for fake. Uh, I don't have to go on there and look. Neither do you. That's like I was telling them earlier. Fish and Game texted me earlier and told me he'd been talking to other wardens and was trying to get us some other stories together. So that's what I'm saying. What other horror narrators like you and me, and like I said, I'll tell everybody, yes, I've got DW to thank for everything that I do. He gives me ideas, and sometimes me and like, okay, you do this and I'll do this. But what other narrators take their family, like we've got here at the Vault and Dark Waters, and put them to use? I'm talking about, you've got a story, okay. Your cousin's got a story, okay. We'll see if that's how we do things, and that's how we get the real stories.
Yeah, no, they don't do it, bro. They don't do it. And
I'm talking,
they're gonna evolve to it. They'll evolve to it sooner or later, bro.
like
And
Fish and
get the
Game. He's talking to wardens, which most people, that's a game warden. That's somebody that is in the woods dealing with wildlife, dealing with crazy hunters, illegal hunters all the time. Just think, they spend 99% of their time in the woods. Who better to see crazy, cryptid shit and weird shit in the woods?
you ain't getting no better than that, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
You ain't gonna get no better than that. You are not gonna get any better than that. Well, to me, that's the deal, man. For me, it's all about it's about sharing the most authentic stories that you can find to share, and sharing them in a responsible manner in which, nobody lose their jobs, nobody gets hurt, nobody gets embarrassed, nobody's family's in danger. To me, that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, you got to make it happen the right way.
I'm with fishing. I'm with Fish and Game. He just said in the chat room he doesn't see how all these other channels get these credible witnesses, true witnesses, every week to week. And me and DW have said the same thing, because they won't give you a number to contact. If you get an email from them, they won't respond to you half the time. Fish and Game can tell you, he sent me an email, I sent him one back, then I sent him my number and told him, hey, call me. I don't put my number out there because I don't want my phone blowing up like DW does at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, no, you got to remember, YouTube is a business at the end of the day, and so people are gonna always want content to feel. Ooh, what's going on with this truck, man? All that smoke coming out of there. Let me back off of that one. People are gonna always want. They're gonna always want content, because YouTube is a business. So, it was amazing. I never forget when people said I treated hard narration too much like a business, so they didn't want to deal with me because I treated it like a business. But I was like, you idiot, it is a business. You get 1099 on it because you got to pay taxes. You dumbass is a business. So YouTube is a business at the end of the day, and being a YouTube creator is a way of you're monetizing a subject. So I've always said that monetization really does breed, in my opinion, mass exaggerations in some cases, and so you will get to the point to where, in order to put out content, that people they put out anything because they need to pay their bills, and it is what it is, and that's going to happen. That's the downside to YouTube paying out based on advertising revenues and views. Positive thing on it, but it's also a bad thing, and that's the bad side of it, the dark side of YouTube. You get a lot of fake shit because you know, it's gonna make money.
Like I said, my YouTube does make a little bit, and what I make off of it, I put right back into it. It's not like I'm loading my pockets down. Uh, you know, it's anybody that doesn't say, like I said, I'm grateful for it. I never thought this would do. DW told me what it would do, and I never believed it because I'm thinking I'm a nobody. Nobody knows who I am. DW calls me an expert on Bigfoot. Well, I appreciate that, but there's no experts. I'm vastly knowledged. That's only because, like I said, I spent a lot of times in the woods and done some stupid. I paid a lot of stupid taxes, I call it, and this to me is a release, and that's my whole thing. I just want to help people.
No, absolutely, man, absolutely, dude. I'll tell you a story. I think I told you this, but I never told everybody this. So because this reminds me of this. So, you know, after Katrina hit, I was living in Shreveport, Louisiana, right? So, well, my family was in Shreveport. This is prior to my divorce, and I was working out of New Orleans. I was running my construction company in New Orleans. And so I would drive, like I would spend a week in New Orleans and a week in Shreveport, a week in New Orleans, a week in Shreveport. And I would manage my construction jobs for, you know, 1 week, and then my partner would manage, and then I would manage and my partner would manage. Well, I'm driving from from Shreveport to New Orleans. I stop in Donaldsonville, which is like right outside of Gramercy. All right, in the Gramercy little area, right outside of Baton Rouge, to be exact. And I stop at this damn gas station, man. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's 2:30, and Gramercy is a little small. Donaldsonville is a little small town. So when I pull up, I hop out. I'm like, okay, I need to get gas. I go into the gas station, and the lady she's behind one of those bulletproof glasses where you kind of like, you got to slide the money under, and, you know, she's pretty much in a box. And so when I'm paying for my gas, I'm like, look, I need 20 on pump, whatever it was. I said, I need to use your bathroom. But she had this bug-eyed look to her, like her eyes was bugged out. You know what I'm saying? Like something was going on. And I had that like kind of, you know how you get the spidey sense that, okay, some shit's going down, but you're not sure exactly what it is, but you know something's not right. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go use the bathroom. When I turn to go use the bathroom, they got this guy standing over by the coolers where you get, you know, beers and soft drinks. But I ain't really thinking nothing of it. It ain't hit me yet, right? So I go into the bathroom, and it's one of those one stall, you know, they got the toilet bowl, and not even a stall. It's got a toilet bowl and it's got a face bowl. And it's just, you know, that's the bathroom. Maybe 10 by 10. You know, it's not big at all. Big. If you open your arms up and spread the length of your arms, you probably touch the wall and damn near touch the door. So I go in the bathroom and go take a leak and start to wash my hands, and I hear the door opening to the bathroom. And so I look up in the mirror, and here's this guy coming in the bathroom with his hands in his pants. And I'm like, oh, this motherfucker here about to try and rob me. And I don't know if everybody, I don't know if I told people that I took years and years and years of the Aikido and Taekwondo. And so as the guy's reaching into his pants, I put both hands on the sink, and I do a donkey kick. And I'm pretty sure you know what a donkey kick is. It's pretty much where you lift your knee up and kick straight out behind you. Yeah. So I throw a donkey kick, and it catches him dead square in the stomach, like literally catches him dead square in the stomach, and he flies back out of the bathroom and into the wall outside the bathroom. So when I turn around and come back out of the door, he's on the ground, but he's still reaching in like under his, like towards his waist. I'm thinking this bastard got a gun. So anybody who's ever, you know, in a situation like that, you know that you got to put your hands on whatever he's reaching for to stop him from getting it. So I squat down, put my hand on his waist, and start beating the crap out of this dude. Literally just beating the crap out of him. And I would say after about 60 seconds, you know, it felt like a long time, man. It really did, but it wasn't a long time. I stopped, and I started to leave out. Well, as I'm trying to leave out of the door, the lady was like, oh, my God, thank you so much, because I thought he was going to rob me. And I get to the parking lot. By the time I get to the parking lot, the police pulling up, because she done called the police. I guess she saw him coming to the bathroom where I was, or whatever the hell she was doing. But by the time I get to the police pull up. And so, of course, police pulling up, they got their guns drawn. I'm walking to the car, they draw down on me, like, get on the ground, get on the ground. I'm like, yo, bro, relax. Like, I ain't did nothing. I don't have nothing. I don't have no weapons. I don't have nothing. You know, I ain't crazy. I ain't talking shit. I get on the ground. And so he's like, what happened? What happened? I was like, well, I had to whoop the dude's ass inside the store because I thought he was trying to rob me. And so other officer goes in the store. The lady tells him the story. And then he comes back out. All right, man, get up off the ground. They're like, well, we're going to need you to press charges and come down. So I end up having to go to the police station at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning because I had to whoop this jackass's ass who was trying to rob me in the damn gas station. Now, here's the funny shit. This is the craziest shit. So, and for those who don't know me, I'm about 5'11". At that point in time, a solid 290 pounds. Now I'm probably like 300 and something pounds, but back then 290 and fast as lightning. Actually, I give it 260 fast as lightning. Now I'm bigger, but I'm still fast as lightning. And guess what the dude was trying to rob me with? Because I never figured out what it was. I just started beating the crap out of the dude. It was an old rusted pocket knife, a rusty ass switchblade pocket knife. You know, the kind that you hit the button on and it eject the knife out?
Yep, I got one sitting right here.
Yeah, and that's what he was trying to rob me with. And so we sitting there in the office like, man, you whooped his ass. I said, man, I had no choice. I didn't know what the hell he was doing. Well, and after we did all the paperwork and shit, they let me go. And he was like, well, you're going to have to come back for a court date. I said, man, I ain't driving back up this little rinky-dink motherfucker to go to court about shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do what y'all got to do with his ass. But that just crazy stuff happen when you're on the road, man. That's why, like, when I'm driving, I always get my gas in a major town. I don't stop in no small towns anymore. Like, I get my gas in a major city and keep it moving. I ain't stopping in no rinky-dink towns for no reason. It's crazy stuff like that happen, man.
Now, I don't have any story like that. Now, I can tell you this: in that situation, that fellow right there would not have been. If it was me, he would not have been going home, and the police, the coroner, and a lot of other people would have been called. Because DW knows what I'd have done. He'd have been toing him, and it'd been done. I don't care if he'd been playing with himself or whatever. He should. What was it, DW? About 3 weeks ago, I went to get pizza and got into a fight in the pizza place.
Yeah, you always get in some trouble, man. You always get in some kind of trouble. But no, bro, it's crazy stuff, man. For me personally, like, I tell people all the time, man, I have lived probably 3 lifetimes. And just to tell, you know, I'll tell even more personal stories. I was 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. I don't know if I told people this. I got recruited by the United States Space and Strategic Defense Command. And it's crazy because they gave this aptitude test to see how smart you were, blah, 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 blah. I went out drinking the night before with this chick who I miss her to this day because she really looked like Rosario Dawson. Everybody knows I love Rosario Dawson. So I go out drinking with her, hanging out, and we go the next day to take the test. Pass the test with flying colors. Next thing you know, I got an internship working for them, right? They put me on the Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama. If anybody ever been to Huntsville, Alabama, you can Google it. You know what a Redstone Arsenal is. And now I'm working on the Arsenal every day with a Russian defector named Ivan, right? And I ain't gonna tell you nothing else about the guy, but anyway, Ivan's a Russian engineer who defected from Mother Russia. Craziest son of a bitch you will ever want to meet or ever get to know. When I say this son of a bitch was crazy, well, this son of a bitch was crazy all day long. All the motherfucker did was drink. All he did was talk shit. That's all he did. But he was brilliantly smart. But he stayed drinking and talking crazy. And so
I like him already.
Rockets. And if you ever dealt with anything, well, I can't tell you what exactly. But anyway, we were working on a projectile system that took fuel. And the fuel was hazardous to the point to where if the fuel ever leaked, if it got on your skin, it would literally eat your skin. So we're inside this projectile system, really reverse engineering it. And he hits the wrong button. And you hear this sound. But we inside like a structure, and he freaks out. He's like, why did you hit that button? I said, I didn't hit the fucking button. You hit the fucking button. So he slams the door closed. He's like, we got to stay in here for 5 hours. I said, what the fuck you mean we got to stay here for 5 hours? It's time to get out of work. He said, if you want to go outside, you're going to die. We got to stay here for 5 hours. Dude, we staying there for like 8 hours. He's telling me his family story. He's telling me all kind of crazy stuff about the KGB, like just insane, crazy stuff about how he used to have personal bodyguards, blah, 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 blah. Time passes, and finally we come out of there, right? Come out, he's like, we're going to be fine. Enough time has passed, more than 3 extra hours have passed, we're going to be fine. But it's dark, so we can't really see the damage to what happened.
We lost you there for a minute, Bolt, I think. He's on his phone. Are you there, Dark? He's traveling, y'all, so he might have hit a dead area. Since several people in the chat's been talking about the pizza, Lakea, I had to tell them about the pizza incident. Well, Lakea and Cody, I was visiting them at Cody's shop. They wanted pizza. Now, this is a small town. Just got a college and all that good stuff in it. Well, I pull up to the pizza place, and I drive a tank. Matter of fact, we call it the Beast. This little pizza place, the parking lot, the front of it where you pull in is blocked off by several of this nice looking Camaro. No, what the Camaro was a Charger, Dodge Charger, and a big high rise 4-wheel drive and everything. Well, I just drive over the curve and drive up into the parking lot, and I noticed there's this one little bitty black guy, or black kid, I'd say, kind of leaned up, stand up on a building. As I drive by, one of the guys, a little preppy looking punk, throws a drink, like a big gulp drink, just ice and all, just right in his face, just point blank. And there's 3 of them and only one of him. I don't like bullies, y'all. I don't know what it is. You can ask Lakay. I just don't like bully. Well, I stop my vehicle, get out, and I walk over. I don't say nothing to 3 guys. I look at the little black kid and I ask him, are you all right? Well, I guess the little ringleader of the other little preppy boys decided that he had to play macho because, he's a young guy and I'm an older guy, and he's taking his shirt. He pulls his shirt off over his head and he's flexing, and we'll whoop you too. As soon as he says that, now all talking is over with. He went to, I guess he was going to flex again, and he got popped. I hit him with a right cross right under the line of the jaw, right by the ear. He drops like a sack of potatoes. Well, as I do that, me and number one is with me, and he does a Superman punch on one of the other boys. And when he hit him, his nose just went everywhere. Well, the third boy decides he starts backing up, and he does not want anything else to do with nothing no more. And like I told him, look, y'all started this, y'all picking on him. Now the other guy, the little black kid, he is leaned up against the building with his hands behind his back, has not moved. I tell him, look, scoop your friends up, put them in the truck, and y'all leave him alone. If y'all bother him again, you're going to see me. And now y'all have pissed me off, so I'm not going to be as nice. Me and one walks over to the boy, walks him inside, make sure he gets cleaned up, and like I said, everything kind of went from there, and we drove out the parking lot. But like I said, that's how fast things can go awry. Like I said, as soon as you tell me I'm the kind of person, I'm from the old school, if you tell me you want to whoop my butt, then if you move very fast, you do anything out of the sorts close to me, that means then your intentions is to hurt me. So you're not going to hurt me without me hurting you. Yeah, I went left and a little bit right. I think we lost DW there. Maybe he'll be able to get back in. Don, are you still there? I think we lost Don too. No, I'm the only one still in here. Okay. What says, I think I'm still live. Can everybody still hear me? All right, I'm gonna post a link so somebody else can try to get in. Like I said that, but that just goes to show you how fast things can go crazy, and you never know what's going to happen. I think DW lost connection or something. I'm not sure. We lost him, folks. He'll be back though. I'm pretty sure. But okay, you got to change your name back. That crap right there is confusing me. So I keep looking up, thinking, who the hell is that? And it's been crazy. Fish, yeah, like I said, I don't know what was going on earlier, but like I said, for some reason, whenever I would try to start my live stream, and when it would go to Google Hangout, it would tell me, it would flash up this thing and say that the Google Hangout is down for maintenance, and I just kept on trying. Like I said, I don't know. I also heard that several sites were going down right now in the next today and then tomorrow, because so many people were expected to get on the different sites with different devices. That's what they were doing, was trying to up their system or whatever. Like I said, I'm not technically inclined. I wouldn't doubt it. Look, my funniest part of the day is to call DW about the time that I know he's headed out, because that is the most hilarious conversation that you can have. All you got to do is sit there and listen, because he's going to fuss and cuss, and he'll stop and roll the window down and ask him, where did you get your license? Are you blind? Can you not see these cars you're walking out in front of? It is hilarious, y'all. Think of Saturday Night Live going down the road.
What's up?
How you doing? Who am I speaking to?
This is Grim. Talked to until DW got online.
Okay, who is this? Who am I speaking to?
Grim Soul Taker.
What's going on, Graham? I don't mind. Stay in here, man. It ain't gonna hurt a thing.
Oh man, you were talking about bullies earlier, and I thought I'd throw my sense in. I used to be a big advocate when I was little about bullies. And can you hear me, Vault?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, man. I'm letting you talk.
All right. When I was about 10 years old, I was dating this girl, the girlfriend, that thing. And this boy called her a female dog. I won't say the word, but you know what I'm talking about, right? He kind of pissed me off. I mean, that's my girlfriend. So what I did is that he busted my lip. He threw a punch, busted my lip. I got to taste my own blood. Next thing I know, I black out. I got blood running off my mouth, and it ain't my own. I literally heard about 2 weeks later that the boy had to have 20. I think it was about 24 stitches in his forehead because I just raked my teeth across the forehead.
Dude, you ain't supposed to bite him. You're supposed to punch him.
The kid walked away with 3 missing teeth, and a busted nose.
Like I said, I'm just not that big on bullies. I don't know why. Like I said, in school, I used to find I used to be the bully of the bullies. Like I said, I just don't like that. That's why I didn't stay in one school for very long at a time. But
yeah. I know the feeling. I mean, me personally, I'm not a big person on bullies either. I've had to deal with them most of my life. I'm not a really tall guy. I'm really short, but I won't say too much on that.
I don't trust most people in general. It's just my habit to takes a long time for me to trust someone. Guess that's the reason why I'm a loner and I stay off to myself.
Oh, I know how you feel. You see, to bring something up off the wall, I have Asperger's. It's a form of autism.
I know what it is.
So
I
we're not.
got a couple of friends that's got it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we're loners just because that's how we are. So.
Yeah.
But
Hold on, Grim. Somebody's asked me something in
okay,
chat.
okay.
Yeah, I had some dogman stuff come out of Missouri. I was talking about it earlier, and like I said, I don't know if it's because they're migrating, someone said, or what, but yeah, the crazy stories that are coming out of Missouri, Arkansas, all up through there, and Kentucky, they're getting a little outrageous. I don't know what's causing it, the ramp up, but I'm getting way more dog creature encounters is the way I figure it. Hold on one second, y'all. I got dark waters. Graham, if you want to tell them a story or what's going on in your channel, hold on one second.
All right. Well, okay, man. I'm of course on my channel. I'm Grim Soul Taker. I do paranormal news. I do a video like once a week, and basically I find paranormal news and I report about it. I talk about it and stuff like that. Not too. I'm really into it. They got me started on it. They said, I think it was Vault and DW said, "Why don't just do, do paranormal news, do something like that?" And they got me
Hey,
started
Graham,
on that.
hold on just a
Yeah.
second. DW's phone got killed from the Google Hangout, and he's on speakerphone with me now. He wants to finish the story he was saying. Can go ahead, Dark, and see if everybody can pick you up.
Yeah, so basically, Ivan and I end up being trapped inside this thing for hours upon end. And so when we come out, it's nighttime. So I can't visibly see the devastation of this little cabin. But I know it's major. I know it's important because he's freaking out. So when we get in my Jeep and we leave, he's like just freaking. He's like, "Oh my God, we're going to have so many fucking problems in the morning." He was like, "Look, whatever happens, it was an accident." He was like, "Just when they ask you questions, keep saying it was an accident. Don't blame it on me, and I won't blame it on you." Well, the next day I get to talk to the colonel, and the colonel says, because at the U.S. Space and Strategic Defense Command, there's civilian employees and military employees. And so the colonel he starts questioning me. He said, "Well, just like you guys had an incident yesterday, you want to tell me what happened?" And so I stick with the script. I'm like, I really don't know what happened. We went there messing with wires, and then boom, this happened. And so he was like, "Really?" Well, that's not what Ivan said. He said that you guys were doing a check down on a list, and he told you a certain button to press, and you pressed the wrong button. So I'm sitting there looking at him like, this son of a bitch threw me under the bus. I'm like, "Nah, that's not how it happened." I said, "I'm telling you, we was messing with the wires." He said, "Well, we're going to ride back over there so we can see the damage." Dude, we get back over to the arsenal where this was, and whatever the goddamn gas was that was inside the projectile, it had eaten every leaf. It was put like this in a 100-yard radius of a circle. Every tree that had barks and leaves, it had eaten everything off those trees. So you just had, it wasn't withered, it just had eaten all the bark off the tree. So you take a tree and you chip it and chip it and chip it, and you see like the sap and all the, I would call it the white meat of the tree. I'm not in the woods, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the underbark.
It had eaten it down to that. And so he was like, "Well, could you imagine what would happen if we'd had people all out here, all at the same time, and blah, 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 blah." And I was like, "Fuck." And so when I finally got Ivan, because they have these underground bunkers, so when I finally got him in the bunker alone, I was like, "How you going to throw me under the fucking bus when you know you pressed the button?" He's like, "They're not going to do you anything. You're young. They're not going to do you anything." I said, "You a fucking dissident. They're not going to do you anything." He's like, "No, I promise you, they're not going to do you anything. They're just going to fuss at you. But for me, I might have to go home to Mother Russia. I'm going to die." I was like, "Oh my God, this motherfucker is crazy." So that was just a story from my personal life too. And so with these guys who out here telling stories and like sharing these stories, dude, I can tell you shit that happened to me personally that would entertain people for 6 months. without talking to anybody, you know. So just shit that I done been through that's just crazy. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg. When you start talking about the street stuff, man, it get real wild and crazy.
I don't know if you heard me, but I told him a while ago, my favorite part of the day is to call you early in the morning about the time I know you're hitting the road and listen to you drive to wherever you're going, because it's like listening to Saturday Night Live in a car.
Oh man,
look, I told him, I said, look, you may stop in the middle of the road and roll down your window and ask, but do you not see this car you're walking in front of? Or better yet, my favorite is when he got pulled over. That was hilarious. That little cop didn't know what to fucking do.
What happened? Go ahead.
I'm not going to put that. I don't put out other people's stuff. He wants to tell y'all that, he can tell y'all. But like I said, that little dude didn't know which way to go, especially when the fucking mayor called him and the chief of police called him. Why he standing out there with DW?
Yeah, they don't know about it, bro. I'm not getting into all that. But no,
yeah,
that's New Orleans, though, man. New Orleans is a relationship city, man. It's all about who you know, and it's not really what you know, it's who you know. You know,
but the reason why he got pulled over was because of the area he was in, and it was racially. I'm talking because he's black and what the area he was in. That's why he pulled him over. But the craziest thing was it was a black cop that pulled you over, wasn't it, DW?
Yep.
And like I said, he pulled him over, basically racial profiling.
That's why I can't get on board with all this violence and all this white people, the evil thing in the world, white cops, people. Man, every bad interaction I ever had was with a black cop. Period. I tell people all the time, get out my face with that. The white cop's doing this. Man, I ain't never had a bad interaction with a white cop. Every interaction I had that was bad was with a black cop. Period. Hands down. But I don't know what people talking about with that.
Well,
I don't know what they get I'm pretty sure they're out there, but I ain't never had one-on-one.
Yeah, well, that goes back to the racial, and see, this is, y'all look, it's supposed to be 2017. This racial shit is crazier, and I just don't understand it. It's too much time involved in stupid shit. There's horror narrators that won't work with me and DW because he's black. What the fuck does it matter what color you are? You're on a goddamn radio show.
Man, they won't work with me. I'm the one that was on coast to coast.
Yeah. Oh, I know that, but still, it pisses me off to no freaking end. Well, we're not gonna work with him. We don't work with black people. What?
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah, we don't work with black people. You're a fucking idiot.
God. Yeah, seriously, dude.
I don't give a flying camel's ass, to be honest with you. I really don't.
Oh, I know you don't, but it pisses me. You know, when I get pissed off, I'm pissed off.
Yeah, that don't bother me at all. The way I see it is this. You got a problem. If you're that stupid, that's how racism takes care of itself. It really does take care of itself because you isolate yourself from opportunities that could allow you to be successful. And that doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian. And when you take that stance in life, you isolate yourself, and so therefore you only have access to limited resources to do what you want to achieve in life. So if that's what the life you want to live, man, live that life.
All right, but those are.
I love everybody.
Everybody, people want to know if I want to go out on a dogman investigation. I want to take people like that out on a dogman investigation to use for bait.
There you go.
You know, there's a lot of people who say they investigate dogman, and I'm sorry. Like, this is 100% real. This is not pointing to anyone. So before I say this is not targeting anyone. Because if I decide to target someone, I'm going to say their name because y'all know how I rock.
Yeah.
I just don't. I find it hard to believe that a person who's ever seen a dogman will go back and try and find a dogman.
Nope.
Because every fucking person I talk to that has seen a dogman, now they may research. Don't get it twisted. They may research on the internet. They look up sightings. They try and find videos. They do all these different things because they're traumatized. But to literally go back and go look for them, you crazy.
Yeah.
You crazy. And then to say I'm a researcher where I'm out there every day researching, you ain't never seen it. You ain't never seen it. So
What do I tell you, DW? If I go in the area, first thing you ask when I get back, was it Bigfoot or Dogman? Well, I'm back fast, so I think it was a Dogman. I don't fuck with them some bitches. There's no point in it. I know what the outcome's gonna be.
Hey, y'all, I found a website with
I can't remember this guy's name. He has a small YouTube channel, but he's out of Mississippi. He's with the Mississippi Bigfoot Research Organization. Cool dude. Can't remember his name. He's cool as hell. And he was actually from Chalmette, but he lives in Mississippi. Cool. And so we were talking about off air. We were talking about Dogman and Dogman sighting. And I was like, bro, you got anybody who told you some Dogman stories of what happened? And he was like, yeah, I had plenty of people who talked to me about Dogman. I never asked you a question. Did they ever want to go back? He was like, oh, hell no, they ain't want to go back. He called me, in the whole interview, he called me Muddy Waters. I was dying laughing. I can't remember his name, though. He was like, yeah, I got Muddy Waters. I was just like, what? That's cool as hell. And then finally, he was like, dude, I called you Muddy Waters. I thought it was funny, bro. I thought it was funny.
Well, see, I thought that's who Don, the guy that was on here earlier, was. There's a guy on that research group, killing Bigfoot. They want to go out and they want to kill one. I have nothing to say about that, but I thought he was part of that organization, and I was going to ask, if you kill one, what do you think is going to happen? And I know the group you're talking about. I've talked to a couple of them. I've helped them out a couple of times on stuff that they found that didn't make any sense. And I told them, I said, your best bet is not to go back to that fucking area, because I think it's a Dogman. And then they get into, well, what do you think a Dogman is? It's a badass motherfucker with a lot of teeth. That's what it is.
And you be lunch.
Well, all I can say is, man, leave that thing the hell alone.
Yeah.
Leave it the hell alone, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Now, if you go out there searching for it, looking for it, my problem is if you run into what you're looking for, then you got a problem. You really do have a problem. If you ain't, and I can tell people who ran into it because they just don't go. They don't deal with it. Even some of the guys that I'm talking to now who are still kind of like ongoing cases where they're having activity, man, them people so traumatized, it's ridiculous. I mean, they are traumatized. It's not like, oh, I'm excited about going to find a dog. They're like, dude, what the hell do I need to do, and how do I get out of this situation? It's never excitement of, oh, I'm going to look for Dogman. Like they got a fucking cape on, like, super Dogman hunter, to the rescue.
Yeah.
Hell no. They're like, no, I don't need this alone.
That's the ones you don't never hear from again.
That's the ones who lying. I promise you, that's the ones who lying. The ones you don't hear from are the ones that got common sense, and like, they got common sense, but they're badasses, so they're like, yo, I've been hunting for a long time. I'm ex-military. I'm this. I'm that. I don't want this thing around me. I'm going to kill it. And I'll be like, bro, I know you could probably go kill it. I know you probably killed a bunch of people and you did your thing, but this ain't a person.
Nope.
I'm going out there. Then you don't hear from them again. You never hear. You call them, their phone don't work no more. You don't hear from them again.
Yep.
I told you.
Because
it's just a personality type.
Because if you put enough word out there and it gets back to the right people, now you don't only have to worry about Dogman. You have to worry about other things. That's all I'm going to say about that.
That's a subject that's better left alone. It really, really is. I saw this interesting video on YouTube today. I thought it was cool. And you guys might want to check this one out. They had like 2 million views. I think there's this thing called Omegle, OMEGE, where it's like a Skype where you talk to random people. And so they had this little prank where it was this kid, and as random people pop up, he would say, hey, can I read your mind? And then the person would be like, sure, if you can read my mind, read my mind. And so then he would like take his eyes out of the view of the camera, and then when he pulled them back, he would have these solid black eyes, like he was a black-eyed kid. And just to see the people's reactions to the black-eyed kid, oh my God, they were freaking out. People were dropping their computers, running. And they on the computer, they literally dropping their computers and running out of the room. Oh, I thought that was funny, man. Because I can't play it. I thought that was funny. I'm leaving. But I thought that was cool. Y'all should check that one out.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody asked, is there any physical proof of the existence of Dogman? Well, I don't know what you want to consider physical proof. I know there's enough. I've found enough proof, like I said, to know they ain't something to fuck with. That's depends on what you mean by physical proof.
I think that's a setup question, and I ain't answering your question. How about that?
Yeah, I like I said, I know. That's one of those things that if you stick your finger in that light socket, it's gonna shock the hell out of you. So I'm not sticking my finger in there.
Exactly. I wouldn't either. But I did find out something, guys. Though I looked online.
That's really, that's another reason why I'm not talking about the subject, man. But I'm always apprehensive about doing new dogman stories because every time I get a new rush of craziness. But also, dogman is a tar baby to say because from a YouTube standpoint, the shows do very, very well. You'll put a dogman story out and you'll get 13,000 views in a week, right? But it pigeonholes you into doing one topic because now you build your audience centered around that one topic because that's where you're getting success. And so now you can't avoid that topic because you get stuck on it. And that's why I refuse to do a whole bunch of dogman because it's a tar baby. Once you get it, you're stuck with it. And you can't branch out, and you can't expand, and you can't really do anything you want to do and get into other topics because you won't find a topic as popular that won't monetize as well as this one. And that goes back to the monetization of it because there's this fanaticism behind that particular topic, which means it pays well because there's a lot of interest in it, but also from a YouTube perspective, you can't just have your channel be about one thing. You can't. I mean, you could, but at the end of the day, you will run out of stories or you're going to start lying. And that's what happens. That's why I don't do a whole bunch of stories. I need to vet out all the stories on that particular topic. And a lot of them I get a bullshit. So it's a tar baby. And once you get it, you're stuck with it because now you're addicted to the revenue that comes from that particular topic. So now what happens is you start taking any old thing, you put any old thing out there. And so now what that does is it just completely destroys the honest work of other people who really, really out there researching it, who really trying to look into the topic and get to the bottom of it. You're really hurting the topic more than helping it because all you're trying to do is take money off of the topic. So yeah, I just passed out about that one, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, somebody in the chat, this name got brought up again, DW. Jay Tucker got samples. Nothing ever heard from it. Like I said, we're going to talk to him later on. And like I said, a lot of the stuff that was put into the show that was done on that, Jay tried to tell people that if he done the story completely true, like it happened, that people would get hurt. Some of the stuff that was told in it, from what I understand, yes, he did get samples, and then he got a knock on the door because this was put out, and those were confiscated.
Eesh. That's bad, guys.
But like I said, there's certain things that, like I said, you put it out there, and if someone don't want this to be found out to be true, that it could cause you a lot of problems. But like I said, what he told me was, like I said,
let me say this. I can tell you, here's the thing when people don't understand about all the evidence, and I guess that's the same person who's asking about evidence. Here's my advice to you. If you want dogman evidence, it's very, very easy to find. You can get a phone number, you get a burner app on your phone that costs you $3 a month. You can throw up a little YouTube channel real quick, put a one dogman story, ask for people to contact you. Within the first 10 stories that you get from people, you will have an accurate dogman story because probably 1 or 2 out of 10 is the truth. From there, all you have to do is go to that location and you will find what you're looking for. But the problem that I have is it's kind of like the, what do you call those people who, or they sit on the damn armchair quarterback.
Yep.
The armchair quarterback thing for me is a big problem because at the end of the day, people demand evidence, they want evidence, but they won't take the risk associated with it. And there's risk associated with it. And I don't know how many ways and how many times I can tell you there's risk associated with the shit. So it's like the armchair quarterbacking thing is very, very easy to become a dogman researcher. It really, really is. There's actually a dogman research organization like a bigfoot. You can contact them and go out with them. Find what you want to find your own truth. And that's my thing about it. If you want the truth, it's there to be found, but you have to put some effort into it. And the truth that we give, especially, and I can speak for myself, the truth that I give is the biggest dose of truth that I feel comfortable giving you.
I second that.
I don't think any bones about it. I don't think any bones about that at all. When it comes to that topic, and I would say that is when it comes to that topic in particular, that's how I feel about it, you know?
Yeah, like I said, I second that. That's like I said with Property X. I'm not in it trying to prove nothing. This is something I'm doing to just show that, like I said, me and DW just don't sit around and do like he's talking about the armchair quarterbacks. We go out, we do stuff, we talk to people. DW feels better at talking to people than I do. I'm just now coming out of my shell about that. Like I said, it don't bother me to go out to after I end this to leave and go out in the middle of the boonies and go up under a tree, sit down and just sit there until the sun comes up. It doesn't bother me because I'm used to that. But most of these people, they have never had an encounter that want to do these shows. Couldn't tell you what a dog man looked like or a Bigfoot looked like if it was a picture in front of them to say, yes, this is true. This is what they look like, because they're armchair quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Well, like I mean, DW have this running inside joke. They're hiding in their mama's basement, eating Hot Pockets, and scared the werewolf's gonna get them. Yeah, but you know my feelings on that particular person.
How many people in the chat right now?
Right now there's 43.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
We were up to we were up to 47. I think a couple of people either kicked them or like I said, it's been going crazy. It'll kick somebody or I don't know. Like I said, I think it's because they're working on stuff and
YouTube's always been messed up, guys.
What? Any more questions?
No, not yet.
I couldn't tweet anything out to get more people because I'm driving, man.
That ain't no problem. Fishing Game says, I know who you're talking about, and puts a bunch of smiley faces. I said, I'm not going no further.
Yeah, I don't need to go no further.
No, I didn't say what I had to say, and like I said, that'll all come out in the wash, and screw it.
Yeah, ain't no need to beat a dead horse. It's dead. That's why I'm worried about it. But I do believe in ever since I had my issue with that individual, I don't back down from saying what the fuck I'm gonna say.
Nope.
And I will never back down. And I ain't like I'm gonna say something and then talk out both sides of my mouth. I can get quiet fuck. You know what I want to get into? I really want to get
somebody. Hey, DW. Somebody asked. Hold on a second. Somebody asked about your vamp story of when it's coming out.
My what?
The vampire stories.
I'm not complete. I'm not finished with it. To be honest with you, so I'm not really sure. I put a lot of work into it, but I'm not finished with it. So I'm not really sure. And I'm really trying to move back towards. I'm moving back towards a stand where I do the whole Dog Wars production with the intro, which Paul did the intro. It sounds great. So I'm moving back to do a span of shows that including Bigfoot Bonanzas with the actual old school intro, which is really, really, really hardcore, heavy production type stuff. So I can't say when I'm gonna finish that one and have it out, but I'm definitely working on it. That one, the Dogs of War, the next Bigfoot Bonanza, which is the story about the two brothers who got trapped on the side of the mountain with the Bigfoots, and which I believe there was Bigfoot and dog on the edge of Bigfoot and Dogman territory. And that's all I can remember right now, because it's like, what time is it? Midnight or is it 11 o'clock?
It's 12:30 right now. Hey, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. 2017 Luska Lugos. Lugos wants to know if she can help narrate some of those stories. What you do is you contact DW and talk to him about that. But he's done said, I think he put some stuff up for people to record and send back to him. His problem is a lot of people want to do that, but they will drag their feet about sending it back.
Didn't he say it was on his Facebook?
I think Lugos, I think she just contacted you on Facebook. honey, it's probably gonna be just a little bit before he is able to get back with you, because like I said, he's driving down the road talking to my crazy ass on here to y'all. And
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I've stopped you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a goatman story out there for somebody to read on the Facebook page. I don't think anybody's ever read the goatman story.
All right. Well, she said she contacted you on Facebook. She'd definitely be interested to do it. She'd send it back. And somebody asked, Vault, are you and Dark talking with any game wardens related about Bigfoot? Yeah. I said that earlier. Fish and Game is getting some stuff together for us. He wanted me to do a 3-way, but right this minute I got my hands full of fish. I'll try to do that here in just a little bit, and see if we can't get you on too through 3-way, you and Dark. And but
oh yeah, Grim.
Yeah, Grim's on here too.
I got some interesting stuff for you guys.
Battery charge a little bit. I'm gonna try to jump back in.
All right, go ahead, man. All right, bye.
Something interesting for you, Vault. You wouldn't believe this, but I actually found a website with sightings of something called bear wolf.
Okay, haven't heard of that one, but
I didn't either. I did some research.
well, there's so many of these little towns and stuff that I found. That's like when I've researched Bigfoot from here to Kingdom Come, and you wouldn't believe, like, I've heard them called everything from boogers to catamounts to woolly boogers. There's so many different names these places call Bigfoot and stuff like that. And then people say, well, I can't find nothing in my area. Well, just because you can't find it in your area doesn't mean there's not any stories. You just have to figure out what they're calling it in that area.
Exactly. So the thing is that I'm thinking it's just they say it's a bear wolf. It's basically got a body like a bear and a head of a wolf, and I'm thinking that's just a dogman sighting. That's probably what it is.
That sounds like a dogman. Like I said,
I know.
I know there's all different kind of Bigfoots, and I've even had some accounts. I have not personally seen one with a snout. Not saying one couldn't have some kind of defect, or there couldn't be some out there with a small snout. But I've had people tell me that they had a small snout, kind of like a short-nosed bear. Now, like I said, I don't know what they saw.
Well,
what was going on?
The man described it is it had the body of a bear, and it had like real long fur. You know what I'm saying? And it had like a head of a wolf. And I'm thinking, I was reading on the website, and they have tons of sightings of dogman. I won't get so far into it, but this is the only one that I saw that was described as a wolf bear or a bear wolf, whatever. They even drew a picture of it. I couldn't get it on my thing because I don't know how to do that too well, but a man drew a picture of a bear and a wolf head on it, and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a dogman. I thought I'd bring that up to you guys.
That to me, that sounds like a dogman. If I had to put money on it, I would say they saw a dogman. Like I said, that's just my opinion. There was Paul said there's a story about he heard that there's a bear squatch. Like I said, I've heard of sheep squatch, goat man. Like I said, I don't know if these are actually Sasquatches that look like, whole clans look like this, or if it was just one that had a birth defect, or they actually are seeing something. Like I said, because the second dog man that I ever saw, I thought was a Sasquatch until it turned around, and I was like, what the fuck is that? That's not a Sasquatch.
Well, I'm going to tell you this though. Sorry for cutting you off. I'll go ahead.
Right. No, like I said, it will throw you for a loop because you're expecting to see this. Easiest way I can describe what most Sasquatches look like: take a orangutan and a picture of a Neanderthal and mush them together, and that's pretty much what some of them have more hair on their facial than some. I've even seen some with it looks like they got a long beard and what I call the Fu Manchu style mustache. Like I've seen
Yeah.
there's a variety, but like I said, when that thing turned around and I seen the very first thing that popped in my head was fucking Anubis. That's the easiest way
There you go.
that's the easiest way I can describe what come into my head. I'm thinking, what the hell? And,
Well,
the second thing that I thought of was somebody trying to play a joke on me until it moved. And when it moved, I was like, that ain't no person. Like I said, it did not take me. It don't take long when stuff starts happening.
Hey, Vault, sorry for cutting you off, but
Go ahead.
Michaela wants something.
What? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay?
Hey, talk and let me figure out what's going on with Lakay real quick.
All right, guys. Okay.
Like I said, if you want to give them a description of the stuff that you're doing on your channel and what they can look forward to, and I'll be right back.
All right. Well, these past couple of weeks, like I said, I do a video once a week because I want to get enough of the people, enough information for you guys. I don't just do. I find one, I want to find more on that subject. So the current one that I just did, is about the Ouija board and about how if it's dangerous. And well, LaKayla can tell you herself that it's probably dangerous. Is the reports that I got, 2 of them that I found. One was this boy, this full-grown man beat his girlfriend beat her up pretty much. And he wasn't drunk or anything. This is after they had like a party, like they messed with the Ouija board. And another one was about 3 American people. I won't mention names. They were messing with the Ouija board, and they so-called said they were possessed, but yeah.
All right, I finally got back. Hold on, I got reverb coming.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry with it.
Yeah, I think it's coming on your end. All right.
My end?
Yeah, I think it was. It's gone now. But
okay. I had to
Lakaya had a weird occurrence. I think Lakaya was about a week ago. I'm gonna say about a week ago, where her and Cody were leaving their shop, and she said she had to do a double take. And I was like, why? She goes, I seen behind these buildings was a very, very large white hairy creature. Now it's a small town, like I said, where they're at, but it's in a town.
Oh, now, I can think of it as Yeti.
Well, that's what. No, I've seen Sasquatches in the South and in Texas that were grayish white, but she said it was a large. I'm talking big enough that it couldn't fit through the door, or she didn't think large. I said, well, what did its face look like? And she said she couldn't see its face. It was its back was turned to them, and they were driving. And she just looked at Cody and said, I think I'm going crazy. And he said, why? She said, I think I just saw a Yeti. That was her. I think that was her words, or a Sasquatch, a white one.
Well, I mean, the thing is that Yeti's just is over there, and it's I think
it's like I said, it's just another name.
Korea, just another name for Sasquatch. I mean, I know you have mountains around that area, so maybe.
No, where they're at, they have hills, but they don't have no mountains. But if you go, I'm gonna say 5 miles in either direction of where she said she's seen this, you get into the woods. I'm talking about. So it's something. It wouldn't be hard, and it's not like this is a metropolitan area. When I say small town, after 10 o'clock, all their street lights go to blinking because most people are in the bed. It's that small.
Oh, okay. Well, to me, it sounds like, I mean, like you said, it could be just a Sasquatch, but I mean, if it's white, I mean, would be a Yeti?
Well, I'm not going to say, because I've seen Sasquatches in the same area of Kentucky. I've seen some that were white or a grayish looking color. I've seen some that looked like a calico cat because they were multicolored, like a dark gray, a light looking yellow, and a brown. I've seen them black. I've seen them blonde, like a blonde bear. I've seen them brown. I've seen them all different, color. Think of an animal. I've even seen some with a red tint. When at first they looked like they were a rusty brown, and then when the sun hit it, it looked like it was just dark crimson red.
Oh, well, I mean, they could vary just like everybody else. I mean, if you look at wolves, their fur colors are all different too, as well. I mean, you got the white ones and stuff like that. You got the brown ones. I mean, it could just be the fur color. I mean, to be honest, I mean, don't animals camouflage themselves? Animals, period, like wolves and stuff like that. Don't they have natural camouflage?
I don't know about all that, but I'm talking about. I've walked by one going hunting one time, and when I
Yeah,
walked by it, I was like, I don't remember a stump being there. And when I walked by it, the first thing I thought of was it looked like a big tree that lightning had hit, and it was just a burned out stump.
yeah.
Well, when I climbed up in my stand and I stopped moving around, this fucker got up and walked away.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, they hide, and they have to have some type of form of camouflage to keep from people from seeing them. Like you said, you didn't even know it was there. You didn't.
I just it was off the trail probably about 20 yards, and I walked by and I'm thinking, because I noticed things in the woods.
Yeah,
I don't use, some hunters use what they call markers. They'll tie ribbons and stuff like that so they can find their way to their stands and without
well, my
flashlights and
dad.
stuff.
I know what you're talking about. My dad used to be a hunter, so
Yeah.
he used.
Well, I don't do that because I don't want people to find my areas and stuff like that. So what I do is I use the surrounding area. In a distance, I'll see the biggest tree. Well, I know if I walk towards that biggest tree, I'll come across this tree laid on the ground. When I come across that tree, I got to turn right
Yeah.
and keep walking straight until I come across these two little hills. I use stuff like that.
Oh, well, I mean, here's something though. LaKayla brought up something. I mean, if you think about it, a white tiger is actually just a defect in the tiger gene. And we do have albinos. I mean, there are people who have no pigmentation to their skin, but that's a birth defect. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's what a Yeti could be, is just a Bigfoot with a birth defect, you know, like a white tiger is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm trying to get a hold of Fish and Game, see if he wants to holler at us.
Jump in.
Hey, Fish, what's going on? All right. Nothing much. I'm gonna put you on speakerphone if that's all right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Y'all hold on. I got Fish on the line. Can you hear us, Fish?
I can hear everybody.
All right. Can y'all hear Fish?
Yeah, I can hear.
All right. Well, like I said, I don't. I don't know if Fish wants everybody to know what you do for a living. You can say it.
You can tell him.
He's a game warden. I'm not going to tell you where he's at and what states and stuff he goes through, but like I said, he's talking to other wardens and trying to get us some other stories. And like I said, these are coming from law enforcement that are out in the woods 99% of the time. They're there day, night. You never know. And like I said, they deal with some of the most despicable people on the planet. And unlike most law enforcement, game wardens deal with people they know 99% of the time have a weapon. So they're unique. Yeah, they're a unique breed of law enforcement. I couldn't do it because I don't have the patience. But like I said, he's working on getting me and Dark Waters some straight from the mouth stuff from the game wardens. You know, that's something else that, you know, y'all can look forward to on my channel and DW's channel that nobody else does.
You get it straight from the mouth.
Definitely something I'm working on for you guys. It'd just be interesting for me, honestly, just to kind of put some of that stuff out there, and not just me have experienced, but everyone else, you know, that I can find for you that has experienced something different than I have.
You know, like I said, I'm up for whatever you want to do, and I appreciate it. Hold on,
I appreciate you and Dark too.
You
both do great things. You're just trying to alert the public. You're not trying to get famous off this. You're just protecting the public, which is how it should be.
Yeah, my screen's just hiccup. Can everybody still hear me? I don't know if you can still hear me on your, if you still got it going on your end, Fish, but everything on my end.
I can't see anything right now.
Okay, well, all my screens just hiccuped. Okay. Okay, can you? Yeah, everybody can still. I don't know what happened. Everything kind of went. The screens went haywire, and I think they're working on the different sites, trying to keep everything up and going. Because like last year, I know some people that got new. Hold on 1 second, everyone. Because LaKay caught them doing something. I ain't exactly sure how all that crap works. All I can say, I thought she said somebody was trying to come in the back door. I was like, the back door is a goddamn. Well, my back door is a giant fucking. Well, it probably weighs about 800 pounds.
Oh, well, good God.
When I say I'm in a vault, a lot of people think I'm joking. No, I'm underground. I'm about 30 feet underground, and you have one main door that is a roll-up door that goes out into the where I can pull up, hit a button, door rolls up, and you can drive in, shut, and you're inside the facility, and you can do whatever. And then I've got a back escape hatch on the north end, and I've got an escape hatch on the south end. I thought she was talking about somebody was messing with the big roll-up door. If they can get that big bastard open, they ain't gonna like what they find on the other side. Like I said, I don't know. I think I lost Grim. Grim, I don't know what happened. Yeah, all of a sudden my screen went wonky, and then everything went kind of quiet there for a minute, and all of a sudden I don't see you. I can see your face in my chat. I mean, in the Google, your little tab, but I can't hear you or nothing else. I don't know. Like I said, it may be them just working. I don't know, because like I said, it took me 2.5 hours to get this live stream up and going, y'all. Well, you can have one. You just got to find an old military facility that they have decommissioned. Hey Don, like I said, that's like Don a while ago. His picture stayed up forever, but he wasn't talking or nothing, and it finally just took his picture away. I don't know what's going on with this. Well,
I think someone was right. I think YouTube maybe updated something. Or
it may be because what I was saying earlier. I remember last year, right around I think it was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So many kids got those Xbox Ones for Christmas that it shut Google down or something like that, or the game system. It shut those sites down where they were basically useless for like a day and a half.
You would think we'd have better servers and stuff than that, but
Well,
we don't. But
all right, I'm gonna put the link back in the thing, Grim.
all right, well, I'm gonna ask your opinion. What do you make of this bear squatch people are talking about? I've never heard of that just now.
I have never heard of it either, Fish. Like I said, I don't know if they're seeing a dog man and thinking they're seeing a Bigfoot, or if it's another kind of Bigfoot that has if they're seeing it in the same area. What I would say was that it's a Bigfoot with some kind of deformity. Now I do know, I have for years in one certain place in Colorado, that everyone that sees this Bigfoot was telling me that it had a snout like a short faced bear. And
almost like a hybrid kind of thing.
Well, I thought they were saying the same thing, and then I would start asking, how tall do you think it was? And I would get different heights, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're just off on the height. And I went out there, and I come across Bigfoot tracks where this one sighting was, that looked just like every other Bigfoot track, except for this thing had a short muzzle. I did not get to see the animal with a short muzzle. I did see that there was a Bigfoot in that area where they said that they had saw it, and all the signs pointed to Bigfoot, but they kept saying it had a short face, a short muzzle.
It almost makes you wonder if it's not some type of maybe evolutionary thing, like in the area they're in, they had to evolve to have this snout to make them easier to get food, easier for them to protect themselves or something like that.
Like I said, I don't know. I said, anything that's like down in Florida, I've come across several of them that were that when they make a track, it looked like there was a web between their toes.
Almost like they had web toes, right? Like you were describing.
Yep. Well, like I said, and that's what all I can think of is for several years, millennia went over, and after a while, they just grew web feet.
Well, a lot of the sightings in Florida around the Everglades, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense for them to evolve web feet where they can swim through the water down there.
Yeah. Well, I said that's what I thought. Well, that's like dogs. You got certain breeds that over time have developed web feet, and they use them for duck hunting and stuff like that, like Labradors. A true full-blooded Labrador will have web feet.
Yeah, my lab's got web feet.
Yeah, and like I said, that's because that was bred into them over the years.
The basset hound, it's got the white tip on the tail because they use it for rabbit hunting. That's how they were bred. Because when they would go through the tall grass, you could see the tail. You always knew where they were at.
Yep. Soul said he was trying to get in, and for some reason it says that he's denied, and I ain't denied nobody. Dude, I don't know what the hell's going on, because I don't know how to do none of that.
And I can't see the chat, so whatever anybody's saying, you have to relay to me.
Hold on one second. I was trying to figure out what Grim, there's not a allow or not allow button in here that I've done clicked on every damn thing that's clickable. uh, it says what the only thing I found was in the chat group. It says Soul Grim left the group. Don't know, dude. That's all I can tell you. I have no idea how to do any of this shit. I don't even.
Sounds to me like you described that door like someone tried to hack into your thing.
It's almost what I'm thinking somebody tried to do.
They were trying to mess with you.
Well, and I don't doubt it because we got to talking in depth about the dogman stuff, and like I said, from what I found out, what DW has found out, usually that don't end very well.
Generally not. Like I told somebody in the group chat, when we have reports that involve cryptids and stuff like that, whether it be Bigfoot, dogman, whatever it is, the report goes in a separate thing. We put it in an envelope and it goes to our supervisor, and that report from then on ceases to exist.
Well, and that's like all the wildfires that were happening in Missouri and Arkansas and stuff like that. All that stuff disrupted all the wildlife, and there's no telling what you're liable to see running around where normally it wouldn't, because a lot of their habitat is no longer there.
Exactly.
Well, Soul, I don't know. Dude, I don't know. Somebody got ejected one time from DW's, and they had to go through another account to get on. But dude, I don't know how to do none of that. And I was actually looking at the live stream when that happened, so I don't know what. Because like I said, all my screens went. I got two screens pulled up side by side: the Google chat and not the Google chat, the YouTube and the Google Hangout. And like I said, it kind of looked like it would. Like the old TVs, how they go side to side, the picture wheel. That's kind of like what it looked like, and then it just straightened up. And then his picture, I'm still seeing your picture in the Google Hangout, but I don't hear you or nothing else. Hold on 1 second. All right, we're back on. Lakea called who was trying to hack us, and she said there may be one other person that's in the background. All I can say is you better keep to the computers, because if I catch you myself, you'll wish Dogman had got you.
It's always nice to have a hacker on your team too.
Yeah. Well, Lakea, what does Minion 1 go by on here? He don't go by Minion. He goes by crap. Yeah, Lethal Mark. That's Minion 1. That's Minion 1, and that guy can do some shit with a computer that will freak you out. Yeah, Don, that's what happened to Dark Waters. Is he said that Google Hangout ate through his battery so fast it killed it. I don't know. That's one thing I don't try to get into politics. That's a slippery slope.
Mama always told me, if you want to keep your friends, you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion.
Yeah, I don't do religion and politics because that's a good way to piss people off when you ain't even trying.
That's how you, that's how you offend people. Personally, I don't care if you're whatever, you know, you're right to do whatever you want to be. So.
Yeah, like I said it.
Like the whole people don't want to work with Dark just because he's black. Like, who cares?
Well, like I said that's the stupidest. And see, that's another thing. I don't like bullies and I don't like racist people. Because I tell people I'm Heinz 57 sauce. I got so many deadgum different ethnicities running through me because my granddaddy was Blackfoot Indian and my grandmother was Cajun. So they got everything in that Creole batch running around there from, you know, you name it, and it's probably in the Creole background. That's like, you know, most people would think, you know, it's bad. My grandmother was a coon ass. A lot of people laugh or get mad when I say, well, that's not nice. Why? That's what they call themselves that. It's like a badge of honor to them.
Back to the thing you talked about earlier, the crazy people that we've had to deal with, you know, the people in my position deal with all the time is. And back to your pizza story about how you had the guy get off your shirt and try to fight you. Yeah. I had a guy do that to me one night when I pulled up at one of the dams here where I work. He was real wanted to fight me. I was just like, you know, we're not going to do this for everybody else, man. I don't want to embarrass you. Just phone me back to my truck. And I thought you talked him down and got him to come up there, but I don't want to hurt you for everybody.
Well, like I said, like I said, he done told me that he was going to whoop my butt, or he said ass, but and then he zigged when he flexed again. Like I said, I took it he was going to swing at me, and you don't tell me that you're going to hurt me, and then I'm just going to stand there. That ain't happening. No.
You got to protect yourself.
Well, like I said, I don't. It's just a reaction. He zigged when he should have zagged.
I'm going to use your stupid taxes line at work.
Oh yeah, that looks. I got that from my grandfather. He said everybody has to pay stupid taxes. Just some people pay a lot more than others.
That's right. I'm going to use that work. I'm going to be boys at work like that one.
His other famous quote he used to tell me all the time: "There's two things, son, you won't never get away from in this world. That's ignorance and poverty. You can have some of the richest people in the world and they'll be dumb as hell, or some of the poor people in the world and they'll be smart."
That is exactly right. There's two things in the world you'll never get rid of. Like, there's always going to be poor people, always going to be smart people, stupid people, rich people. That's just the way the world works. And no matter what you do, it'll always be it.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said they couldn't hear us. I don't see why. Everybody else can. To go take you out to the woods, boy. Well, I grew up in the woods, have made my living out of being in the woods, and I feel more comfortable being out in the woods than I do being inside of New York City. New York is one of those places that's nice to visit, but I'm so glad when I leave.
I'm not a big city guy either.
Yeah, I feel awkward. There ain't enough dirt under my feet or something. I don't know what it is. It's in too many people.
It's out of place almost. Like, I've gone and visited New York before, and I'm kind of just like, I don't feel right here. Like, I don't belong almost. You know, I'm just like, I'd rather be at home. But
y'all trying to put everybody to sleep, Lula. Luke, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm terrible with names, and I'm sorry. I'm going to call you 17. How about that?
earlier you touched on the people that, you know, go and hunt dogman. I thought back and I was like, I'm going to be honest off that subject just for us, but I went back and I thought about, you know, those kids I caught out in the woods. It's just like, man, why would you, like, why? If you know what these things are capable of, why would you go after it? I know Bigfoot can rip me apart, which it can. Why would you be like, I'm going to get as close to this thing as I can? It makes no sense to me.
I don't understand why. Like I said, that the other day, me and DW talked for about an hour after we got off about that. Like I said, that's one of the things that people just don't understand. You got kids running around in the woods trying to find Bigfoot, and they're doing all these calls they hear on TV and tree knocks and stuff, and that could have ended way bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, like instead of finding these kids alive, like they end up finding them in pieces, or just finding one of them dead and the other two gone. Just like you said, even if they'd been a juvenile, who knows what it could have done to them.
Oh yeah, well, I've heard of a small Sasquatch that was about 5 foot tall, which that right there's got to be a small teen, a preteen is what I think that is, grabbing a little boy up that was like 10 years old, snatching him off his bicycle and running up in the woods and just held him until the bigger Sasquatch snatched up the littler Sasquatch and the boy got away.
It almost makes you think that story, maybe the adult Sasquatch was kind of like getting on to him.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think like these creatures are they have a lot, I would describe as kind of like a family value. Like they learn from each other, they stick with each other, and the adult ones will get on to the little ones for doing stuff like that because they're like, hey, don't bring unneeded attention to us that we don't need. We don't need that, we don't need it. They're not bothering us. Let's not bother them.
All right,
if your kid.
All right, Darkness. Good night. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
It's just like, if your kid runs up and punches another kid in the nose, you're going to pick him up. You don't do that. We don't need stuff done like that. We don't need attention like that.
Well, like I said, I just that's. Like I said, that could have ended way bad, and I don't think they realized that. Did y'all get to talk to the parents?
I talked to one. I talked to one of them, and two of my buddies went talk to the other ones. But I mean, I just like what they don't like. It's not these shows, they don't watch the show. Cool, fine, whatever. I get it's entertainment, but they have to understand that what they're doing could harm them. Like. Finding Bigfoot, they're never going to see one of these things like me and you have talked about due to the fact that there's too many of them out there that's doing the wrong stuff. There's all these lights. They're not going to go around that stuff. They know how to avoid it. But you get a 13, 14-year-old kid out there, freaking by themselves, knocking on trees, making these calls that they have no idea what they could do. What if they do this call that pisses off the alpha? They have no idea what they're doing, but the alpha knows what they're doing.
And see, most people don't understand. There are calls that you can do that challenge the alpha of that area. And if he hears that, he's going to come in and take that challenge. And when he gets there, he don't care if you're a Bigfoot or you're a human. He's ready to fight.
He's going to kick your ass.
Or kill you.
Yeah. You'd be lucky he kicked your ass.
And I tell you what, I don't know if I should say that. I don't know if I should tell what one of the, I call them piss them off calls is, and I accidentally figured this out. Deer hunting is, you know what a snort wheeze is that a buck will do? Well, if you do that snort just excessively freaking long, like go into it like 4 or 5 seconds, repeat that over and over, that is what I call a piss them off call. That is a challenge call to a Bigfoot. That fucker is coming in, if there's one in that area, and he's looking to fight. He ain't looking to make friends. He ain't looking to do, he's looking to fight. Now I'm talking, they'll come through tearing up trees, throwing rocks, beating on stuff. He is looking to fight. Needless to say, I got really quiet, and I'm glad I was really fucking high.
I think there's some primates that do stuff like that. Like they snort at each other real loud like that to initiate a challenge. I don't know which ones that do it, but I think some of them do.
Well, the sound is like a I'm not doing it right, but like I said, I've got a snort wheeze some freaking where that, and most people have, unless you deer hunt, you probably have never heard it or don't even know what I'm talking about. But like I said, they're making them now. You on a lot of the book calls, and I fixed that thing. I blocked that bastard off. Like I said, and that's how I figured out about it.
That's an accident.
Somebody wants to know if I've ever stopped a Bigfoot using a flashlight to stop Bigfoot charging. No. Usually what I do is I put my hands out to my side and I put my head down. I've been bluff charged several times, and it's just like with any other. I've been bluff charged by a freaking elephant, and that's what it is. It's a bluff charge. They're trying to scare you off without actually getting into a fight.
That's one of the things I've always heard when I've told people is if one of these things shows aggression towards you, growls at you, whatever, you need to, don't show your teeth at it. Don't, look down, try not to make eye contact. Have your hands out where it can see you, because they know what weapons are, what guns are, they know.
Yes, they know what they are. There's no doubt they know what they are.
Exactly. And just try to, back away. Don't show any aggression. Don't take off and turn off running, because that'll turn in the predator inside them. Just try to back away slowly and show you don't mean any harm. It's the best thing you can do.
I meant to say something to DW when I was on the phone. I hate saying other people's names. There's some certain people out there that have a radio show, have a YouTube show, I think in a podcast, and they go out and do expeditions and stuff like that. And their favorite thing to call these things are boogers. I have no problem with these people. I just don't like some of their way they work with people. Somebody asked me, have I ever had them had a Bigfoot do what they call a counting coup, what these people like to talk about. And no, I have never ever had a Bigfoot try to do a counting coup on me. I know what that is because, like I said, I've got Native American in my background. I know all those things. I've never had one count coup on me. I have had one drop stuff. A smaller one will be up in a tree and drop shit on me. And it sounds like they're freaking laughing. It's a cackle. Think of a hyena. That's what they sound like. And I don't know if that's their laugh or what they're doing. But I swear that little bastard was laughing at me. I'm talking about it's like it's kind of like a howler monkey mixed with a hyena. I can't do it. But that's it. You swear the fucker is laughing at you.
I mean, it could have been a lasper, because from what you're describing, it sounds like one, but I think it's a form of communication like you're thinking. I think they just talk back and forth and some stuff like that.
Well, I've been
a smaller one. He wasn't fully developed yet, and so his voice, it wasn't as deep.
Yeah, well, like I said, and I've been close enough to them that I've seen they do a lip flip, and it's like a monkey. Their lips are weird looking. When they're showing their teeth, it's like a dog. They're showing their teeth. It's aggression. They want you to back off. You're too close. You start backing off, and they'll stop it. And sometimes they'll either they kind of hide behind the tree and only like one eye coming out, or they'll get behind the tree and they'll try to keep the tree in between you and them and walk away. I've been close enough that it's the easiest way I can put it is go on a site and pull up sounds of a crocodile mating. They actually do this low like that, and it's a growl they do. That lets you know, hey, you're too close. Back the hell off. They do stuff if you listen and pay attention, just like a dog or any other animal will let you know you're too close.
Yeah, I've heard that too from people I've talked to. They try to avoid human confrontation as much as they can.
Yeah, because I believe they know if they hurt a human or let a human, they do something aggressive to a human and let that human get back, more humans are going to come.
Exactly. And if they, it's like when they growl at you, they're telling, like you said, they're telling you you're too close, back up. But it's just like most people don't know what that is. or consider it for that matter, know what it is.
I've had people ask me about, do I believe they use infrasound? I don't know. I've heard crazy stories where people run into one and all of a sudden the next thing they know, they're naked going through the woods. I don't know what caused that. I've never had it done to me. I can't answer a question if I've never experienced it. I've never had any lost time in the woods that I don't know, what went on besides when I went to sleep. But I'm a light sleeper when I'm in the woods, so I'm talking about if a squirrel comes down, I usually the other thing is when out in the woods and I do hear something, I don't immediately jump up and look around, because a lot of times I don't sleep in a tent. I sleep openly because that way I can see what's going on around me. I lay there, and before I even open my eyes, I'm listening to see what it is, what I think it is, how big it is, what direction it's coming from. And if I think it's a threat, then I try to ease open and ease around to see what it is. If you make fast movements, sometimes that can bring on an attack.
Really so threatened.
I'll go ahead and do the laugh for you since you're getting off.
That last man was one of the creepiest things I've ever heard.
I don't even, like I said, I never thought about it until somebody said that, and like I said, and I started using it, and now that's what everybody likes.
I like it. I like it in the intro of your show and everything. I like it a lot. It puts more emphasis on how, this is kind of a creepy, different kind of thing. I like it.
Well, like I said, everybody has their niche, and that's just happened to be one of mine. And like I said, and I don't really, sometimes I'll do it, and I'm not trying to do it. It's just my natural thing.
Right.
Lakeia says it's my creep factor.
I will throw this out there. I've heard people talk about Bigfoot teleporting. I don't believe that.
I've never had that encounter. Now, like I said, I've seen them lay down and cover themselves with leaves. I've seen them lay down in the middle of a pasture in tall grass and just disappear. I've even seen, I believe they were trying to use the grass and stick. It looks like they purposely put like duck reeves and stuff like that in their fur so they blend in. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose or they just got it hung in there, but to me it looked like it was done like you were making I don't know if anybody knows what a ghillie suit is, but it looked like they were trying to make a ghillie suit out of their freaking fur.
That's what I was just about to say, like they're trying to make a ghillie suit.
Lakeia, was you talking about my growl? I don't think I've ever did that one. Yeah, I'm going to try to get some more stories out of Louisiana. I try to leave those alone, leave them for DW. That's his stomping grounds.
I've been on the New Orleans area one time. After the Sugar Bowl in 2014, I like it down there.
That's like the younger ones do a growl, and I've learned how to mimic it. And believe it or not, if coyotes are around and you do this, and I can do this growl, and they will shut up. I don't care what they're doing; they will shut up and they will try to sneak off. I don't know if it's. I think it's a younger juvenile Sasquatch because it's not quite as deep as some of the bigger ones, but it kind of goes like this. And it's long and drawn out. And like I said, I've done that when coyotes were around me when I was hunting, and them suckers will shut up yipping and everything, and their tails will tuck between their legs, and they'll just kind of like sneak back off back the direction.
They know what it is, and it's scary. They're terrified of it. Just like when people describe their encounters and they say, every sound in the woods stop, it's like, yeah, because they know what was around. I mean, you got to think about it. These creatures will be at the top of the food chain out there. When you go out there, you're no longer top dog. That thing is top dog. And like I've said repeatedly, if you think you can kill this thing, you might kill one. But that's not the one you're going to have to worry about.
I've only come across probably 10 since I've been out in the woods that were what I consider alone. I didn't find any other evidence of any other Sasquatch, any other things but that one in the area, and it was a big son of a gun. Most of the time, that's like on Property X. Somebody had asked earlier if I thought, no, it was you, I think, in the text that asked me that I think that I was, if I thought, so I get stuff mixed up because I do so much during the day, things kind of cross up. If I was dealing with just a loner or if I was dealing with a troop, no, I don't know how many is out there. I've come across different footprint sizes, so I know it's more than one. But like I said, I haven't got quite a gather on how many. I think it's at least 3.
You might deal with a small group of them.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know why they're staying in this area. And I don't want to push too hard on the area because if I do, one or two things are going to happen. Either they're going to say screw this and they're going to leave the area, or they're going to get aggressive enough where I'm going to wind up having to hurt them, or they're going to hurt me, and that's not what I want to do.
Well, I watched your live video out there when you actually walked through it. There was a game trail out there, and there's a nice little water supply out there. So while they're hanging out in the area, I could see, especially there's an abundance of deer out there. Oh,
there's abundance of deer. I'm talking about, dude, it's there's deer everywhere out there. I'm talking about I put up a stand, climbing stand, and climbed up about 30 feet and just sit there. Wasn't hunting. Like I said, I was just seeing what was in the area, the wildlife. And I had 19 does walk out.
That would make sense when you're hanging around there then.
Yeah, I'm talking about everything from this year's fawns to 5 and 6 year old mature does. Had 2 nice bucks walk out.
I was trying to think of what that thing. Okay, I was going to ask you, do you think the farther north you go or the farther south you go depends on how aggressive they are?
Up north, they're way more aggressive. And I don't know why, but yes, they are way more aggressive up north. They
have talked about the ones from Alaska.
Yeah. Like I said, the up north, they're for some reason, they're way more aggressive. They're less tolerant of humans. Like I said, if you get into an...
Go ahead.
If they think, if you get in their area, they're going to try to usher you out. And then I said, they will get aggressively ushering you out. I'm talking to the point where they'll push down trees right behind your vehicle, and sometimes I've even heard of them pushing down trees to try to trap you into an area because you didn't leave fast enough.
It almost makes me wonder, the farther north you go, generally people kind of get less scared. Maybe it's because they're not as used to seeing people as they are in the more populated areas.
No.
Maybe, because some of the places down south, there's more people, more hunters generally.
I'll tell you another secret that most people won't even think of. All right, like when I go into the woods, I use I use animal cover scents besides using no scent, because I found that, like in my earlier days of doing all this stuff, you can get this cover scent that kills human odor. Okay, well, most people don't think of it. You're walking through the woods now with this smell that doesn't smell like nothing. It's basically a void. That can cause animals to be alarmed too. And I've had Bigfoot track that, what I call the void smell, because it doesn't smell like nothing. They know something's there, but they can't smell nothing. It's a nothing. So it encourages their curiosity. Where when I've used red fox urine as a cover, I've used, if I'm going into a pine barren, I'll use pine scent for cover. If I'm going into oak grove, I'll use the scent of acorns to cover my scent. And I get better results and get closer doing that than using no scent at all, or a scent that kills your human scent. Because, like I said, now you've made a void in the woods. There's no scent in this area of nothing. So that burst up there, because these things can smell like a deer or a dog. And I try to keep the wind into my face if I'm going into an area. That way I can smell them, but hopefully they can't smell me.
The void thing, it makes sense because it's not something they've ever smelled before. Like you were using the normal stuff they smell every day, they're not going to think anything of it. I smell this all the time. But this different smell they get that doesn't smell like anything, they're like, well, what the hell? What's this? I've never smelled this before. Is this new food? Is this a new, some kind of new, that's a new Sasquatch maybe?
Exactly.
They're going to go investigate it.
And then when they get over there and they find you don't know how they're going to react, because you don't know if they've ever been shot at or somebody's bothered them and they think human, they're going to hurt me. And I got to hurt them first. See, that's the other thing people don't realize is you don't know what kind of reactions these people, you don't know what kind of reaction these creatures have had with people in the past. And that can cause them to, like a bear. If you get a bear that's been just aggravated by humans and just shot at and stuff like that, sometimes gunfire don't bother them no more. And as soon as they see a human, they go after them.
Yeah, I truly believe, I think that the Sasquatch, depending on the interaction it's had with a human, like previous to finding you, will depend on how it reacts to you. If the first human showed no threat, just left them alone, left the area when they were, intimidated them, I think they're a lot more likely to not attack you or, show aggression towards you. But I think, if hey, this last human shot at me, and then we shot at one of the clan members, I'm going to kill him before he kills me or one of my clan members.
Exactly. And like I said, that's a big factor in it too, depending on if I go in an area. Like I said, I try to find out, well, okay, you've had a sighting. What did you do? Did you shoot at them? Did you do anything? Did you shine a bright light at them or whatever? And I think bright lights hurt them because I think they're a night dwelling creature. And you think about it, you're in the middle of the woods at night, somebody shines a 10,000 watt candle power light into your face 40 feet away, you can feel the heat off of that light. And if you got nocturnal night, your eyes are set for the dark, that's going to hurt like hell.
Like you wear night vision goggles.
Exactly. That shit hurts.
Yeah, it does.
Like I said, I believe a lot of that. And like I said, people, like somebody asked me earlier, have I ever used a flashlight to ward off a bluff charge? Nope, because you don't know how that fucking animal's going to react. Sometimes they'll throw their arm up and pick up the speed. And the other thing is, y'all don't understand how fast these damn things are. They're big and they're fast. I forgot accounts where they kept up with a car doing 30 miles an hour down the road.
You just got to think about, how tall these things are. You need to take into account for the stride.
Exactly. And the way they run, all right, they start off just a couple of strides. It's at what I would consider a good average human could do. And then all of a sudden, within 10 feet, they're moving twice as fast as any human over terrain that ain't no damn way. I can barely walk over, much less run. The way it's like springs. That they move crazy fast.
Not only that the fact that you said the way they move and their stride, but think of how strong these animals are. Think about how much muscle is in their legs and the power they have behind them to make them move that fast.
Oh yeah. Well,
you're talking about an animal that could push over full-grown trees.
Yeah, I'm talking about. I've had them push over a tree that I couldn't put my arms around and touch my fingers together. I've had them push that tree over to make me back off. Where when it sounds like all hell's coming to the end with it coming through the treetops.
That's scary. I've never heard of, like, I've heard of you're pushing down trees, but none that big.
I don't know if it was one by itself or it took two of them or what, but like I said, this tree was not rotten, and you could hear it start pushing, and you could hear the tree popping and moaning and groaning, and all of a sudden you hear a big pop, and here it comes through the tree line.
I had a guy I know from Alaska tell me the biggest one he's ever heard of up there was like 12 or 13 feet tall. This is what the person described to him.
I've got.
I don't know if you know any truth behind that or what.
Well, yeah, because I've got one that I think I talked about on DW's last show. After they seen it, they went up there and we did some investigation. Where they seen it was, and it was actually its head was just right above a limb. Now its head was above the limb, and the limb was at 14 feet.
Good Lord.
The Ohio grassman, what they call it. I've seen pictures of it standing by the eave of a house, and the eave of the house was almost 13 feet off the ground.
I almost wonder if they can get any bigger. I mean, you've got to think these real remote areas that people don't live in, you never know. I mean, there's stories of mountain giants that, date back a long time, and some of them even describe these things carrying around clubs, which I don't know about all that, but there's some of the stuff I've read and stuff like that describe these things carrying around like tree branches almost that were clubs.
Yeah, well, like I said, up in oh crap, I forgot where it was. Not too long ago, these scientists started digging up these freaking giant. This is in the United States. I think it's somewhere up north. I can't remember what state it was. But they were finding bones of supposedly human-looking remains that were over 10 feet tall, and they were supposed to be a giant race.
Almost makes you wonder if it may have been Sasquatch from a long time ago.
I said, I don't know. I can't find anything else on the damn thing. I think it was a TV documentary I seen, and I tried to start doing some research because it made sense. Okay, well, these things were 10 feet tall. Where'd they go, and why can't we find any other records of them? The only thing I found was this Indian mound that some archaeologists were doing a dig at, and they found this Indian mound. When they dug into it, they found the remains of an ancient Indian, or what they thought was an ancient Indian that was like 9 feet tall, and right at his feet were two female bodies that were at average height that were buried in like a fetal position.
That's strange. Especially in the fetal position.
Yeah, and it was laid at, one was laid at his right leg and one was laid at his left leg.
Have you ever come across any of the structures they built or anything like that?
Yeah, but I've not come across any nest. Now that's one thing I've looked for. I've not come across any nest like things. Now they do make what I call a primitive like teepee structure. It'll be a bunch of logs. When I say it ain't tree, it ain't sticks, it's logs. Think of 9 to 10 inches around, and they'll be placed up, and it'll make almost a semicircle with a small little, like, I call it doggy door like entrance that even I can kind of stand on my knees and go in, but something as big as a Sasquatch would probably have to crawl in. But think about it. You want to make your doorway small anyway, so air or nothing else can get in.
it almost makes you wonder if maybe that's some type of protection for the really little ones, like they put them in there for a reason.
Like I said,
maybe if they go to hunt, they put the real, little ones in there so they know where they're at.
See, I've thought of that too. And that way they know, nothing else can get to them, because like I said, the walls of these things, think about a 9-inch thick tree. That's 9 inches thick. A bear ain't getting in that.
Mm-hmm.
I also come across these guys up in Anchorage, Alaska, that were going out, excuse me, and they were going to try to catch a Bigfoot, and they were going to build this trap out in the woods. I'm like, dude, ain't nothing ever going to go in that damn thing. A Sasquatch ain't go. You don't think it's not smart enough to realize that's a trap?
Oh, I think these things would know what was going on before these people even got their traps checked.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said they remember watching an episode of Mountain Monsters where they found Bigfoot using fire. Well, first thing is, that's a TV show. I've never come across a Bigfoot using fire. I can tell you he ain't scared of it, because I've had him come right up to my damn fire pit.
I don't think there's much Bigfoot's afraid of.
No.
I don't think there's anything.
I've also had stories, and so has DW had stories. And like I said, I ain't saying all Bigfoots are mean and evil, and some of them may, for some reason, have a caring personality. I've got back there in the California wildfires, I've got some guys, some fire jumpers, they got surrounded, and they said a freaking hairy ass big man grabbed them and run them through the flames. And
maybe I start like that one of his Bigfoot bonanzas.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's a story. I can't remember if they sent that to me or sent that to him. I think it was one they sent to him, and I was telling him about one I had. Yeah, it was one, somebody had sent it to him, and I told him about one that, that years ago I had somebody tell me. Like I said, a lot of my stuff comes from years past where people have told me stuff, back in the 2000s, and I started getting into not researching Bigfoot, but knowing about Bigfoot in the early 80s. Like I said, it wasn't about looking for them. I always look for the signs of where they were to stay away from them. And not until here recently that I started going, well, about 4 or 5 years ago, I started getting into helping people if they had these crazy situations going on their property or where they were hunting, going in to figure out what it was or what it couldn't be. And I've had people tell me, "Oh, we know there's a wild man on our place, and get out there and it's a freaking black bear." And I tell them about everything ain't a Sasquatch, because the way bear walk, if you come upon a bear that's just wandering through the damn woods, the way he steps, you will think it's a big human footprint, because he will put his back foot in the same print almost of his front foot, and it elongates it to make it look like a big foot. But it's not. It's just the way the bear walks. And like I said,
it's one of those things. Sorry. Go ahead. You cut you off.
One of the biggest ways you can tell trackways, if they're side by side, it ain't a Bigfoot. They're usually going to be almost right. It's like somebody's walking a tightrope in the woods. I don't understand why they walk like that or how they walk like that and don't fall the fuck over. But it's like they're not quite right in front of each other, but they'll almost be. You can almost draw a line and you'll hit the outside print of every print through there. But ones that are side by side and spread out, that's usually not a Bigfoot. That's usually a bear.
And you're talking about the bears. Personally, I don't think everybody sees, just from my line of work, I don't think everybody sees one. What some people describe to me, I can write off as, well, that was a bear, that was this, and that's not to discredit people. I believe, I believe everybody tells me the truth when they tell me they have seen something that they did, I believe them.
Oh, yeah.
What you saw may be something different, but I believe you saw something. And I've gone and, looked at, footprints like you have and stuff like that, and I can write off what it was, I believe people. I saw something. I'm sure you did, but I don't know what it was.
Have y'all been getting? I don't know if y'all have big cats up there where you're at, right? Or do y'all not?
We get the occasional one. They're not real prominent, but we get them every now and again.
So I've been getting reports out of the South where the biggest cat was a bobcat, but now they're talking about seeing cougars and lynxes and mountain lions. And like I said, that goes back to those wildfires that happened down there. I think all those pushed those animals out of their natural habitats. And look, animals don't know they ain't supposed to be in. Say you ain't supposed to have any cougars in Alabama. Well, that damn animal don't know where the Alabama line is.
It's just going to find another habitat.
Exactly. And the crazy weather we've been having, I think, is messing up a lot of crap too.
I agree with that. The change in climate will have a lot to do with it. But speaking of animals moving to different locations, I have a story that my grandma told me a long time ago, and she swears this to be true. Her, my grandpa, and my grandpa, my dad, and his brother, they all went camping out of the park here around where I live. And it was a hot summer night, and they slept in the truck with the doors open. She says they were asleep, and she woke up, and in the back seat of the truck, she shook my grandpa and said, "There's a pair of glowing eyes looking at me." He said, "You're seeing stuff, go back to sleep." She says, "No, I swear to God, there's something sitting here looking at." Whatever. He says, "Go back to sleep." And the thing walks off, leaves. And they go home, and they read the newspaper. The next day, there were Black Panther sightings in the area.
Well, I can't believe that. That's like Lakea's talking about the different stories people hear, whether they're true or not. That's like, I hate putting, unless I know for a fact, there's no doubt about it, that a story is absolutely true. On my channel, I don't try to put this is true stories, because unless it happened to me, or I personally know that person that told me that, there's no way I can tell you that story was absolutely, without a doubt, true.
Right.
It may be the most wonderful story in the world, but like I said, if I don't know you and I wasn't there personally, it's just a story. It may be a hellacious story, but it's just a story.
Exactly. You weren't there to see it happen, therefore you can't say this is 100% true.
Yeah.
I'm relaying the facts this person has told me. They're likely true, but there's a possibility that they are not.
Yeah, or they didn't actually understand what they were looking at. The people don't realize, unless you ask any law enforcement officer, a person is a bad witness, because you can have 5 people in a room and somebody runs through with a gun and they can't tell you what kind of gun it was, what color the gun was. They can't even agree on what the hell that person had on.
That is 100% true. Everybody's got a different story.
Yeah, but there was somebody that run through there with a gun, but they just can't tell you all the bits and details and get it all right.
Exactly, and that's not to discredit the people that saw it, because you saw it. It was there. You just may not remember it the same way the other person did.
And a lot of times when people are in the woods and from a distance off, they may see something that they think is a face. Well, first thing is the human mind looks for recognitionable objects. It could be a couple of leaves that make up the look of a face, and they take a picture, and oh yeah, everybody sees a face. And then one person says, "No, it looks like leaves." That's because for some reason their brain didn't tell them to look for a face; it looked for a leaf. We pick out patterns that we normally would see and justify it. And I've looked at a million pictures of this blob. I call them blob squatches. Oh man, you see that right there? That's a big. I don't see nothing but a big blob. I'm sorry, that's what I see. It could be 2 Sasquatches standing there, but I don't see nothing but a blob.
That way, black blob could be a black bear. It could be anything. And you just don't know without seeing it with your own eyes in the live moment. You won't know.
Well, that's like I give you, for instance, on how bad people are on actually knowing what they see. All right. In the military, you have snipers. Well, most people don't understand a sniper's job is just not to shoot people. They're a forward observer. They have special classes and special training to go through and figure out, okay, what am I looking at? They just don't, like I said, they have special training to do that because they have to call back and they make notes. They learn, they go through classes to learn how to make maps and all that. Like I said, it's because people in general are bad at getting information. My favorite thing to do is to get people to understand that you get a big group of people around and you tell one person one little story and tell them to pass along. And by the end of the night, your original story ain't even part of the story no more.
Yeah, this is everybody tells them how that works. You get a big group of people in a circle, one person starts a story, pass it down. By the end of the game, not the same story. It's changed.
Well, folks, I think we're gonna end this now. Like Lakay, I think Lakay is getting tired, and I'm getting a little. This is about the time I usually lay down for about an hour or two, and I'm back at it. I've had fun, and man, thanks for coming on. I'm glad we figured out we could do this and get you on too whenever you can't get on. Because like I said, I want you to be a reoccurring thing on the show. Because like I said, you're a warden. Your job is the woods. What better person to have on? And I don't know of any other channel that brings a warden on their show and will give them free reign to talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about.
I enjoy coming on. I really like I said, I like the work you and DW both do a lot.
Well, like I said, it's not just about talking about Bigfoot stuff. It's about telling the truth and putting the truth out there. You know, and telling people, hey, look, these things ain't the fun-loving tree huggers that most of the people and most of the channels want you to think. And like I said, I'm not out trying to kill one. I'm not doing that. It's not about that. Like I said, if I have to, I will protect myself, but I don't even want it to come down to that. Like I said, that where the property where I'm working at, I don't want to push them to the point where I make them mad and I either have to hurt one of them or they hurt me, because I've got a feeling that's what would happen no matter what. That's not what I want to do. I want to get them comfortable and knowing I'm out there and I don't mean them any kind of harm, and see what happens.
Observe them, see how they act, and whatever else.
Yeah, because I'm talking about, look at deer. That's a good example. I've been to certain places where I know there's a guy and he takes photography. That's all he does. He doesn't hunt. He goes out with a camera instead of a gun. And he takes some of these pictures you see in these wildlife thing. Those are his. He's got areas over there where he's got hunting houses that all he does is shoot photography out of it. No one's ever shot at these deer. You can stick your arm out and wave with a herd of deer in front of you, and they don't even pay you no fucking attention. You can sit here and talk like we're talking now, and they pay you a bit of no attention because no one has tried to harm them there. Nothing is a threat to them there.
Makes sense to me. I mean, we have some deer at a park around here that we have raised since they were little fawns. And we let them go when they get older, and they will come back in the park, and people can pet them, and they can, feed them bread, whatever, and they have no fear of humans at all. No fear.
Well, man, like I said, I'm going to let you go, and I'm fixing to close this down. And like I said, you won't be a stranger here. We'll holler at you later, man.
No problem. All right, see you all. Thank you for having me on.
All right, bye. Well, folks, I'm fixing to cut this off. We've been going for a while, and I'm not even exactly sure how long we've been on and how long we've been doing this. Shoot, it's been a while. As always, I think we've been on for 3 hours. As always, it's been fun. Y'all like, subscribe, tell all your friends about us. We love new people coming on, and I'm going to try to do another show probably Monday night or Tuesday night. Y'all just look and keep your ears out. DW may put something out too. And as always, thank you. Without y'all, we would have had no show. And don't forget to lock that door on your way out.